Welcome back to episode 208 of the Hockey Cards and I Stress Gongshow podcast. My name is Josh. I'm here with Troy. I'm here with Phil. Louis is here too. What's going on, boys? How are we?
Good. Doing great.
Yeah. Okay, Phil, we'll start with you. What did you do this weekend?
I did a whole heck of not a lot. I bought a 77-inch LG OLED last week with a brand new surround sound system.
C3 or C4?
Pardon me?
C3 or C4?
Oh, I got a C3. I bought it used.
I bought a C3 like a month ago and they went on sale for stupid cheap. And
how big, Troy?
77.
Yeah, 77-inch club. Right on.
They were ridiculously cheap when they're trying to, because I mean the the C4 just came out, so they're trying to. I didn't go for the G model. That's a little too fancy for me.
You guys are speaking French. What's the difference between C3 and C4?
A lot of incremental little differences. The biggest are for gaming. I'm not a big gamer. I'm a big movie guy. So in preparation of Dune 2's release, I needed to spice up the Loud's home entertainment system. And I succeeded tenfold. And I've also watched Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon. Oh my God, it's so good. Yeah, good stuff.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, got.
Okay. So you like the TV?
Yeah, big fan. Reviews. Big fan. I know it's the middle of the summer. Everyone's like, "Oh, you should go camping," and I work outside. Listen, I stay inside when you all go outside.
2 Greek thumbs up.
2 Greek thumbs up. Yeah.
There we go. All right, Troy, what's going on? Update us on your life. We all want to know.
Another state tournament. We started 2-0 in pool play, and then we lost. So we lost to a team that when we played them was 2-0 in our pool. So we did not advance to Sunday. So no baseball today, kind of relaxing, slept in a little bit, and then did some work around the house. That's about it.
Did you buy a fancy new TV too this weekend or no?
No, last month.
Oh, okay.
Actually, it was like probably 3 months ago now.
So we have the top loader binder gang, and now we have the new like C4, C8, C44 TV club or something like that.
No, we're C3s. We're the C3s. The new ones are the C4s.
Are the new ones like crazy money?
77 inches would be, if I'm going off when the C3 launched, I think they're like 3,500 or 4,000. But you just wait until they release the C5, and then the C4s will drop. They'll drop crazy. It'll be like the one I got was for under the 77-inch. It was like 1,500. Like, and that was a $4,000 TV when it came out.
And there's no better TV. There's no better television. I don't care. You can do your Samsung Q, Crystal, Diamond, blah, 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 blah. OLED TV is the best.
Just always buy the model year before.
For the Revenant. Yeah, it's good stuff.
All right, we got to be bringing Louis into the conversation, see what's going on with him. Okay, so Louis, all day today, you're in Discord talking about go-kart racing. So tell everybody what you're so giddy about. What happened in your go-karts?
It was a great race. George Russell won the race, and then he lost the race because his car was 1.5 kilograms short. So if I carry the one, like 3.5 pounds too heavy, or too light after they drained the fuel out of it. So he got disqualified.
Wow. Well, so why is it good that George Russell won but didn't win?
It's not. It was good at the time when I posted it, but I didn't have all the information until later.
And this is F1, right? This is F1. It's not go-karts. It's
correct.
F1.
Yeah,
it's kind of
glad you clarified that. Bunch of grown men in little hobbit cars.
We're a bunch of grown men that collect cardboard. So
that's fine. That's fine. I'm in.
We have a lot of stones to throw there. So George Russell, he's your boy. He's your boy, Blue.
He is my boy on Mercedes. Yep. And then you got to chase Lando for McLaren. That's number 2. So
why do you like George Russell? Like, what about him do you find attractive?
Nothing.
No, so you don't like it?
I do. No,
why do you like him? Stop it. It's a family show. Why do you like him as a driver?
You said it. He's just a great driver. He's always poised. He's always a team player. You know, it's fun to watch him race and how excited he gets, you know, during the race, whether it's yelling at the people or being happy. You know, he's just a good dude all around.
Do they yell at each other when they're driving? They're like, ah! And then,
so yeah, wait. So you like George Russell because of how he yells at people and how he's happy?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, from what you told me, your wife is kind of into F1 too, which I think is kind of cool. You guys share that kind of it's a thing you guys do together, right?
Yep. Every Saturday, we usually watch qualifying together. And then Sunday morning, since most of the races are over the pond, in the morning, we're able to just have our coffee and watch the race together. So that's kind of fun. I like that she got into it.
Is she as into George Russell as you, or does she like somebody else?
No, she likes George also. I know she's got a handful of favorites, so it's fun.
Okay.
She's always cheering and yelling at somebody else for hitting somebody or squeezing somebody off the track or not giving them enough room. And holy cow, it's like sitting next to her at a hockey game. It's nuts.
Are you into the F1 cards then too?
I just have a handful of them. I honestly, I wanted to be, but the prices are ridiculous. I can't. That's $300, $400, $500 a box.
Okay. Well, we got to go back to you, Phil, for a minute. So the Olympics started the other day, Friday. I don't know. My whole world is messed up. I don't even know what day or time it is right now. But I, for one, love the Olympics. I think Troy, you do too. It's the once in every 4 years where I deeply, deeply care about the most weird random sports for like 3 days and then never think about them again. Just love it. Does Canada participate in the Summer Olympics, Phil? Is that a thing in Canada?
I think we do. We don't win stuff, but we're probably help with the concessions. We probably help clean up.
Phil, I got a question.
Phil, do
you want to apologize to the whole world for your women's soccer team flying drones over the competition? And
I know. Do you see what happens?
The head coach fired and losing 3 points from their player, whatever it was.
Feelings first. Let's just hire everyone on the feelings, and then when you don't look at merit, this crap happens. Yeah, and doors are flying off of planes. Drones are spying on soccer teams. Bad decisions everywhere. Bad decisions everywhere. I don't really pay attention to any of that stuff. So. I just I heard it on the radio and I laughed. I'm like, yeah, good old Canada.
Canadian.
You guys watch the Olympics up there though? Like, is that like a thing where you watch like equestrian and water polo and ping pong and stuff like that?
Like the Donovan Bailey. Remember when you guys put Michael Johnson being the fastest man on the planet on your cover of Sports Illustrated, and the country above you was like, I'm sorry, what? That doesn't make sense. And then we set up that 150-meter race, and then Michael Johnson had a hamstring injury. Yeah, so well, I think it all kind of stopped after Donovan Bailey. Everyone just like social media. I mean, it canceled everything, right? And I think including the Olympics. Did you guys see the crazy opening ceremonies? How it was pretty wild. They had like big rock star bands, and then they had pop stars, and Celine Dion was there. That was great.
Yeah, we don't want to start any controversies. We'll just let it be. But hey, it was crazy. It was
right.
It was crazy. I loved it because it's craziness and it gets people riled up. So go for it. I like when people get riled up, and I loved it when we got a text from Sylvain about one of his favorite bands in the world's playing.
Yeah.
All excited. So it was awesome.
It's good stuff.
Like Death Spider, because he was all into like crazy music, right? Okay. All right. Well, yeah, lots going on. I didn't get to see any of that because I was participating in the hobby at the National, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Before we do get started, though, just a reminder, the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast is a Patreon podcast. What that means is we rely on supportive listeners like yourself to help us cover our show expenses, produce more and what we hope is better hockey card content and fun initiatives in a small way to grow the hockey hobby. It's very easy to support us. It costs $5 a month. You can join on a $1.99 support level tier on Patreon. You also get exclusive access to our Discord server and can chat with everyone there. It's been pretty lively lately. Lots of people communicating, which is fun to see. Very easy to support us. Just go to our website, hockeycardsgongshow.com. Click on the Become a Patron link at the top of the page, or go to the Patreon website directly, patreon.com, and search for Hockey Cards Gongshow. There's a link in the show description, whether you're listening to us on a podcast app or watching us on YouTube. And then finally, on our TikTok and Instagram profile, there's a link there too. Guys, we have 2 new patrons, 2 new members of our Discord, and they're already in there. They're already chatting, which is great to see since our last show. Both joined out of $1.99. I think it's Kreutzer. Is that how we'd say that, Troy? Kreutzer?
It's either Kreutzer or C. Rootzer. So I'm going
C. Rootzer.
I'm guessing it's
somebody.
Like a name, so I'm going to go Kreutzer. He or she, please let us know if we said that.
And then Smirk, $1.99 as well.
Yep.
We want to thank you guys from the bottom of our hearts. Your support means everything to us and helps keep the show going. So thank you for that.
Put a couple of dumb Minnesotans behind a mic, sprinkle in a crazy Canadian, and it's a Gong Show Super Show.
Nice.
All right, Troy, let's get this puppy rolling.
Okay, so this week I actually did write the intro,
Nice.
so I didn't have to remember it, but I only wrote it like 2 minutes ago. So here we go.
Okay.
On today's show, you begin with the almost greatest NHL player to wear number 8. Then it's off to get a recap of Josh going to the National. Then we take a look at some hobby news. Next, we take a quick look at what puts the glow in Phil's flow. It's back. We got lots of good feedback last time, so it's back again.
So cute.
Next, it's new product releases, followed by a record-setting mailbag. I don't know how long the mailbag segment is going to be, but it's going to be long. We end the show
12 hours later.
Yeah, 12 hours later. And we end the show with any personal pickups. Okay. Previously, we looked at the greatest NHL player that wore the number that matched our episode number. We ran through all the numbers, so we are now looking at the almost greatest NHL player to wear each number from the runners-up in the Hockey Writers' Greatest NHL Player to Wear Each Number article. The almost greatest NHL player to wear number 8 per the nominees in the Hockey Writers' Greatest NHL Player to Wear Each Number article. And selected by me is our boy, everyone's favorite, Teemu Selanne.
Yeah.
No one hates him. Everyone loves him. Runners-up at number 8 were Cam Neely and Drew Doughty. As a reminder, the greatest to wear number 8 was Alex Ovechkin. Okay, before we go on further, because I'm all thrown off, just everyone knows Phil's lights don't work, and you can't get them to turn on. So if you think he's a little mysterious down there in the corner, if you're watching on YouTube, that's what's going on. But
I'm trying to look. Yes, mysterious is the word.
Yeah, podcast people are fine, but the video people are going to be wondering what.
We'll work on our light. We'll have to look at our light budget and send Phil some light. Do they have lights in Canada, Phil? What's going on here? Is there an electricity shortage?
We use candles, but sometimes our igloos melt, so it's we have to find the good.
Your whale oil shipment didn't come in this week, or what?
Listen, I have better lights than both of you. I just can't figure it out with the Wi-Fi. Anyway, listen, you do your thing. I'll figure this out.
Okay,
what happened?
All right, Teemu Selanne, right winger from Helsinki, Finland. Now I'm questioning myself. Is he a right winger? I thought he was. Hold on.
Well, this is going fantastic.
Yeah, I was thinking about it today, and I thought he was a left winger, but no, he's a right winger. I'm just dumb. Okay. I wrote it down right. He's a right winger from Helsinki, Finland. Selanne was drafted 10th overall. Pretty good steal there. 1988 NHL entry draft by the Winnipeg Jets. Selanne played in 1,451 regular season NHL games over a 21-season NHL career. Selanne played a total of 15 seasons with the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim / Anaheim Ducks. He played his first 3.5 seasons with the Jets. And then from 2000 to 2004, Selanne spent 3 seasons with the San Jose Sharks and 1 season with Colorado, which everyone forgets. For his awards and accomplishments, our boy's a Hall of Famer, 1-time Stanley Cup winner in 2007 with Anaheim. He won the Calder in 1993. He was on the 92-93 All-Rookie team. He's a 1-time Maurice Richard winner, 1-time Bill Masterton winner, 2-time NHL first All-Star team All-Star team selection, 2-time NHL second All-Star team selection, 10-time NHL All-Star game selection, named to the NHL's top 100 players to ever play the game in 2017 by NHL.com. And his number 8 is retired by the Anaheim Ducks, and that was retired in 2015. All right, our boy, 684 goals, which is 12th all-time, 773 assists, which is tied for 42nd all-time, 1,457 points, which is 18th all-time. Selanne made the playoffs in 13 of his 21 NHL seasons, compiling 44 goals, 44 assists for 88 points in 130 NHL playoff games played. All right, best regular season of Selanne's career from a point standpoint was his 92-93 rookie season, where Selanne, I'm going to stop. I'm laughing if you're watching on video. Phil's trying to fix his poor lights, and all we see is this sweet kimono in the camera.
Don't look, Troy. Just don't look.
Which is actually shiny and very bright. Okay, sorry. Here we go. So, best regular season of his career was actually, from a point standpoint, was his rookie season in 92-93, where he had 76 goals, 56 assists, for 132 points in 84 games played with the Winnipeg Jets. His 76 goals and 132 points in his rookie season are still NHL records to this day.
Well, okay. Can I make two comments? I think we have actually come on or hit on something here. I think we have now two podcasts in one. We have the Hockey Cards podcast, and then I think people are just going to start tuning in to see what Phil's doing. You're like under your desk. You're like, we're seeing like a close up kimono.
I'm trying to reset the lights. These are very expensive. I know.
Yeah, better get a refund.
I'm sorry.
Back to Timu here. Yeah, our boy Timu. Is this the greatest rookie season in NHL history? Is that what we think?
For sure. Got the points for goals. 76 goals by rookie. The same Bedard did that, where we have imploded. Everything would
it changed everything. Everyone talked about it at school. I ran to the hockey card store for him and McGillney. You know, I want all the rookies. Yeah.
Yep.
That was a crazy. When he threw the glove up, boom, 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 boom. That was just right in the brain. Cemented.
Okay.
All right. Teemu Selanne burst on the scene his rookie season by dominating the NHL. Now, this is a blurb from his NHL profile. Selanne was a man who was a Ferrari on skates, a right wing with a stride as smooth and fluid as hot syrup, which I've never heard that before, but I guess makes sense. Who moved so fast he would have left rubber if it were possible to do such a thing on a sheet of ice. They're really going at it here. Selanne was also known for his chiseled good looks and an angular animation to his game. He exuded joy and looked upon attention from the media and fans not as a burden, but as a compliment. He signed every autograph and answered almost every question.
Wait, where was that from? From his
NHL? That's from his NHL.com profile.
I love that. It's better than known for its hockey IQ and plays a 200-foot game. But we gotta, hey Louis, we gotta bring you in.
Okay.
Can you comment on Selanne's chiseled good looks, please?
Did you see him?
He is
in April in Toronto.
Yeah, he's a good-looking dude. He's a
good-looking dude. He makes us all question why we did not
everything.
Why did we not win the genetic lottery like he did?
He's got a strong chin. Strong.
I want to be like hot syrup.
There you go.
Thanks, Lee.
All right. So that's our boy Teemu. Here he is. Chisel good looks. So Selanne became an American citizen in April of this year. And
he's looking at you, Troy. He's looking at you right now.
He's looking good. Look at him. Just hanging out.
I think he wants to be friends.
Yeah. So I found Teemu Selanne's website. Okay. He's got a website out there, and there's a section on it called Life After Hockey. So he knew I was going to look for it. And I'm thinking, great, I can use this to talk about what he's doing now. Well, here's the opening line from that section on his website. And this is fantastic. Did you really think that was it? That Teemu would bow out of the spotlight like Paul Kariya, one of his best teammates ever? That's what it says.
That's mean.
No, I think they're like really good friends. It's probably a joke. There it is.
I guess so.
That's fired.
Paul Kariya didn't go to Teemu Selanne's Hall of Fame induction.
Oh, maybe they don't like each other. I don't know.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what the website lists for his Life After Hockey activities. Okay. I can tell you the site hasn't been updated about 9 years, and you'll find out why. So, first, Teemu will still be involved in hockey through the Selanne Academy that will start operations in 2016. Teemu will be involved in charity work in Finland through the Finnish Flash and the Association of Friends of the University Children's Hospital and North America through the Teemu Selanne Youth Sports Foundation.
So he's involved in Yari Curry's charity?
Yeah, no kidding. Well, they both finish. He's got 2 construction companies that he runs. Who knows if that's still true? He's got a Selanne Steak Tavern in Laguna Beach, California, which is actually still open. I have no clue if he owns it. Sounded like he was going to launch some dietary supplement products, which not a good move. You'll get sued out of your mind. And then he wants to build on his successes as a player to help kids and young adults learn a healthy way to live. So very good there. I don't know if he's working on that now, but I just cracked up about the whole thing about Paul Kariya. So I don't know what's going on there. All right. Fun, interesting facts. That was just Life After Hockey. That wasn't even fun facts. Nicknames: the Finnish Flash and Tuukka Salama. Now You might be asking yourself, well, what are you talking about? Tuukka Salama. Well, here we go. In 1997 and 98, a well-known automobile race known as the World Rally Championship was held in Finland and drew a host of top drivers along with an interloper who gave his name as Tuukka Salama. Salama didn't come close to winning, but by all accounts found the experience exhilarating nonetheless. This is not at all surprising considering how the driver, the name translated to Teddy Flash, comported himself in his day job, and how he became renowned from the northern tip of Europe to the southern coast of California and many places in between. Salama's real name, after all, was Teemu Selanne. So he went to this race, gave his name as Tuukka Salama, and then raced in this thing and did poorly, it looks like.
Well, he also stole his other nickname from Jari Kurri.
The Finnish Flash, yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a good nickname. So if anyone else becomes the best Finnish hockey player in the world, I'm guessing they'll call him the Finnish Flash again.
Was Jari Kurri fast? He was quick?
I think so. No, but that was it.
But it was
I would say it's relative. 80s players versus
yeah. Like him beside Tino Cicerelli. He's pretty quick. Yeah.
Wait. So we're saying like the Finnish Flash is like Spider-Man. So like sometimes it's Tobey Maguire, sometimes it's somebody else. Is that how that works?
Could be.
Okay.
All right. Highest scoring player, Finnish-born player in NHL history. Selanne is the only player to both capture the NHL scoring crown in his first year and be named MVP of the Olympics in his last. How about that one? You got to dig deep to find that fact. And then how about this? If you're a Calgary Flames fan, as mentioned previously, Selanne was selected 10th overall in the 1988 NHL entry draft. Selanne, who was already a star on the Finnish club Jokerit, didn't make his NHL debut until 92. Neither club nor player in a rush to bring him to the NHL before he was ready. He almost didn't arrive in Winnipeg at all after the Calgary Flames signed him to an offer sheet that was reportedly worth $1.5 million more than the Jets offer. The Jets would go on to match it. So
wow.
Calgary tried.
Didn't know any of that. Good
I didn't
job,
either.
Troy.
Again, this might be a Wikipedia thing, so someone might have thrown that in there, but I'm curious how that works. You know, you draft them because you only get to hold the rights for so long. And this is early 80s or late 80s, early 90s. I don't know all the rules, but it's kind of interesting.
Cool.
During his tenure with Jokerit in Finland, Selanne spent 3 years as a kindergarten teacher. There you go.
I could see that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And from his website, it actually says Teemu is the most famous charity worker in Finland. There you go.
What does that mean?
You can't disprove it, but you can't disprove that.
I mean, you can't call yourself the most famous charity.
Well,
that's a subjective statement.
Well, then he would go. I didn't write this. I
have the biggest bowl of soup in the world. Like, how? Okay, that's you can have any size of a bowl of soup.
Biggest ball of twine in the world. Weird Al song. It's in Minnesota. Thank you. Okay, rookie card. This is where it's time to get sad. 1991 Upper Deck number 21, Teemu Selanne, Canada Cup card, rookie card. PSA 10 pop is 1,698. Gem rate is 42%. Sales of this card are around $30 to $50 US. All
right. Teemu. Good job, Troy. There's some really good facts there. Little known stuff
great.
That not everyone knew. Tuukka Salama. That was kind of interesting. According to him, he's the most famous charity worker in Finland.
Yep. We got lots of Finnish listeners. They need to chime in and tell us like what's the deal? Did I make stuff up? Is it really true?
According to Louis, he's really good looking, which is we all agree with that. So there we go.
I agree with that. He is a good looking man.
He's a good looking guy. He's a good looking man.
All right. Well, I'm having like an out of body experience today because I woke up at 3 a.m. Went to bed after midnight. I was at the National. I woke up today in Cleveland. Now I'm in Minnesota. Oh, it's cool to collect. There you go, Troy. Thanks for doing that, man. Road trip with my dad. So kind of how the whole thing started was we weren't planning to go at all. And then you had baseball with your son. And I asked my wife last week if there's anything going on in my family. And there's nothing. And so I thought, oh, well, I kind of do want to go to the National. but I don't want to drive there by myself. It was too late to get a flight. It was going to be like a fortune. This was like super last minute. So I asked my dad, who used to live in Cleveland. Now he's way in northern Minnesota, like 4 hours north of us here, if he'd want to go. And he said, sure. So it was on. And yeah, we headed down there and had a great time. So can't wait to talk about it. So the first thing, and there's a lot of like things that I would say were a big surprise this time for me. The first one was we're rolling into town on Thursday. So we left really early Thursday morning. We recorded our show Wednesday night, uploaded it, got up again at like 4 a.m, headed out to Cleveland. We're rolling into town about dinner time and get a message on Discord from John, Eyeglass CBJ, longtime supporter of our show. And he said, are you going to hockey trade night? And I'm like, what? Hockey trade night? What do you mean hockey trade night? How would we not have heard of a hockey trade night at the Expo? And so sure, so I think he was there. And so I was messaging him back, trying to figure out what was going on. Didn't see anything. So then I started looking, I'm like Googling, like, is there a hockey trade night? And sure enough, I found on like the Blowout forums, there was a flyer for a hockey trade night at this bar, at the restaurant, sports bar type place called Rivals. And there was a hockey trade night. And so we plugged in GPS. We were like 3 minutes away at the time. So it was very easy to go and stop by. And so we get in there and they had rented like a section of the restaurant, a lot smaller than you'll see at Jack Astor's like Jeremy Lee does during the Expo. Get in there. And my first point of curiosity is who's throwing this? Like, you know, I was kind of like going through my head, like, well, who would have put this on? Like, we would probably know them too. And it was some breaking company, I think called Skulls something. Never heard of them before. But Skull is a very, very Minnesota thing because of the Vikings. And then this thing called The Late Game. And I'm like, I have no idea what this is. So we get in there. My dad goes, orders us a beer. We meet John, Eyeglass CBJ for the first time, which was amazing. Been waiting to meet him for a long time and said hello. And then went over to the Late Game, had a table set up. And I asked, I'm like, well, what is this? I'm like, it's a movie. I'm like, a movie? Oh, that's interesting. A movie about what? And they said it's a movie about beer league hockey that these guys had made that's on Amazon right now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay. You know, but I'm thinking, is this, you know, I'm trying to like wrap my head around this. Is this just like a very small indie flick? Is it like some guy shot it on their iPhone, or is this like a really Hollywood production? And then the guy mentions somehow we get into the fact that RA from Spit and Chicklets podcast is in the movie. And so there's some dots that are connecting that's a little bit bigger deal. And I'm like, oh, wow, this is kind of cool. I totally plan to check out the movie. We might actually have them on our show to talk about it too, because I think that would be kind of interesting as well. And then they were with a breaking company out of Tampa Bay, of all places, the Florida Bermuda Triangle of the hockey. That they're saying like that they're breaking hockey all day long. And it was just like a great reminder to me. Well, number one, I was super excited to see that there was a hockey trade night at the National. That's awesome, and good on them for doing that.
Yeah.
And then, and this is a theme that hit me Thursday night, Friday, and Saturday, is that we get in our own little hobby world, and sometimes we forget that the hobby is actually a little bit bigger than we think. And there's companies and other pockets and groups and type of people out there that, you know, have no idea we exist, and we have no idea they exist, but they participate in the same hobby that they do. So it was awesome. I was really excited that there was a that sort of event. So yeah, the whole experience started with a completely unexpected but amazing and good to see hockey trade night at the Expo. And I was actually a little jealous that we didn't do it. We probably should do stuff like that.
Was it, Josh, was it busy there? Like, I know it's great that they had a hockey trade night at the National. That's awesome. But was there like 7 people there, or?
I want to say that there was like 30. And so I feel like that's a good
That's great
turnout. I always think of and I think Troy, like Jeremy Lee has told us this too, like when he started his networking night at Jack Astor's, like he has pictures of it too, where there was 10 people around a dinner table, whatever, 10, 11 years ago, whenever that started. And now the place is so packed, you can't even move. How many people go to? It's like 200, something like that. It's at 150. and so it was a really good start to it. I didn't see a lot of people trading. It was more people eating, but we were only there for like 45 minutes, and the thing went from 6 to 9.
How does that work? Like, I've never been to a trade night. Like, do people just put their cards on the table and say, trade me? Like, or do you walk around and say, like, this is what I have? Or I felt like a QR code on everybody's t-shirt would be cool, you know? Like, just scan everybody's t-shirt and you see what they got in their lunch pail.
Well, it's one of those things when you're talking, you just talk to someone and ask them, you know, who do you PC?
Like, hey, what do you got? What do you got in there, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry about it, bud. I got what I got. What do you got? Oh, what do I got? No, the card pros come out full force.
The ones I've been to have been very cordial, and it's just talking and asking what they like and what do you have and all that fun stuff.
We don't do it a lot, and I think, Troy, it's you and I, it's for the same reason, because usually they're right after the show, and when you've been at a trade show for like 8 hours, I don't have the energy to like start something new typically. But what I will say here, and I don't think I'm speaking out of school and saying this because I saw it on a social media too, but Jeremy Lee had sent me, he got a huge Gretzky patch auto.
I saw that
at the trade night last night. So obviously you can score some big cards from that. But yeah, so I was actually, it was not huge, but I was pleasantly surprised how big it was. It looks like the guys that organized it did a very good job. So good on them for doing that. And just to have a hockey event at the National, I think was amazing. And it was great to see. And it was kind of an awesome way to start the whole deal. Now, the one issue, so I'm with my old man this whole time, and he's kind of like a backdrop. We had a great time. It was amazing. I think, we stopped on the way to Cleveland at like 9 a.m. at a diner and got breakfast food, like eggs and hash browns and that. We pulled up about 7 p.m. to the trade night and hadn't eaten since. And I'm like talking, and my dad's like, he's like dying, right? He needs food. And so he about, drug me out of there after about 45 minutes. I probably would have stayed a little bit longer, but got to feed the old man. He's
like, blood sugar low, gotta get going.
About to pass out, something like that. So started out great, and then got up, and the show started it started on Wednesday, but I didn't get there till Friday was really the first day. The doors opened at 10. It was in the IX Center in Cleveland, so the big, I think, international exchange. Somewhat similar to the what's the place? I'm blanking in Mississauga where the International Center. Yeah. They have a way bigger parking lots, but when we got there, the lot, it was 100% full. The main one, and so we had to go to some auxiliary lot, and it was, I want to say, legit about a mile walk to because you had to walk all the way around the huge IX Center to get into the expo.
1.6 kilometers for our Canadian listeners.
Oh, there you go. Thank you, Phil.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Then you get to the line, and I think I might have had a picture. Yeah, I think I do have a picture. Easily 500 people in line to get in. So if you're looking on YouTube, and you see like on the right side of the building, that's the entrance to get into the National.
Follow the yellow brick road.
Yeah, here's the entrance.
Just crazy amounts of people in there, and this is about when we were in the middle of the line. Now, what I will say that they did an amazing job there of, as big as the lines were, I want to say it took less than 10 minutes to get through. They did, and once you got into the building, it was 2 minutes to scan your ticket and to get your wristband. So actually, logistically managing that many people, they did an amazing job. I give them a ton of credit for that.
Hope Mikey's listening. Listening. Yeah.
And it's kind of funny, like, so my dad, he's a good dad, right? He's interested in what I do and what I'm interested in, but he doesn't know anything about sports cards. And so this whole time, I'm kind of trying to observe him, because I'm thinking, like, I'm trying to figure out what his expectations are, what his perceptions are, what this is going to be. And I'm thinking, like, this is going to be like the church basement sort of experience, and he gets there and he's blown away. He's like, how can there be this many people here to see sports cards? And so that was like, he was like completely blown away by the people. And then through the whole experience, right, what I'll never forget about this whole trip is walking through the show, and whether it's a card or like going through like Blowout, they had a bunch of cases, like cases of cards that they were selling. And he would just like for 2 days would be like, wait a minute, that brown box is $90,000. And it's like, and then you're trying to explain to him like why somebody would pay 90 grand for a case of football cards. Or
your mother and I bought our home for $38,000 and a bag of apples.
I know. It was something like that. It was just like that, right? And he was just the scale of everything. And so we got into the show, and we both had to like use the bathroom because we had been in the car driving there and it took forever to get in with the line and all the walking. And this is like where I'm just gonna get like my complaints right away.
You're say them and forget them, right?
Say them and forget them. There you go. That's a good way to put it. And honestly, all my complaints about the show have to do with the crazy amount of people that were there. I was at the National last year in Chicago, and I can't remember what the total was. I would be shocked if this was less. This has to be more. There's lots of problems we have in this hobby, guys, but it is alive and well. I can tell you that right now. The amount of people was insane. It was so packed. And there are so many people that are interested, engaged in this hobby. It's a very, very good sign for the health of the hobby that we love. And so my complaints are there's basically 2 main bathrooms. And as you can imagine, it's 90% men. The main bathroom has 3 urinals in it.
How many toilets?
Not many. I don't count that. But then there's a main bathroom. There's another bathroom in the back corner. There ended up being another one hidden that nobody knew about, that you had to kind of go downstairs. But there were like legitimately lines for the men's room that we're not used to. We're used to going to a stadium and there's like a huge line for the women and not the men. And this is a huge convention center. It's like, how can they only have this many bathrooms? And then like the food lines it was a half hour to get a food or probably 20 minutes to get a beer.
Did you get food?
I did not the first day. The lines are too long.
Yeah. Did Dad pay? Did you get food the second day?
Yeah. I ended up getting pizza that was so.
Did your dad pay? Was he like, I got this, son?
Generally, yeah. I mean, it's
good.
Sweet to be 46 years old and have your dad buy you lunch.
Your dad's happy. You're happy, Josh. I don't think that ever changes, right? We're still their kids. Unless your dad doesn't like you. I've heard rumors, but I don't want to say them on.
No, he does. We get along. So you walk in, and it's a huge hall, and it's kind of separated in the middle by the food, all the food places. And on the as you're looking at it, it's kind of the main right side is more the corporate kind of, you have your Fanatics, your Upper Decks, your Paninis, all those sort of booths. And then on the left side was basically the autograph and breaker pavilion. And I got to start there because the presence that Whatnot had at this is mind-boggling. I have a picture, Troy, that if you want to put up for YouTube and this is just a little bit, they have this massive like video wall, do you call it, or TV screen where what do they have? 200 different live breaks that they're showing up on there. Then
like
they had
casino at a horse track race. That's what it looks like.
It does. I didn't even think about that.
Then they had like all these like in-person breaking studios. They had a huge stage where I think like the Backyard Breaks guys at one point did like $100,000 break. And
that's a Tesla.
And then all around, they were giving away a Cybertruck that they had branded.
I'm sure they were to their friends.
Whatnot. Yeah. and then all around them, then the whole section is all little like 10 by 10 booth spaces of all breakers. And I'm kind of like, I guess, jumping ahead here, but my biggest takeaway from the National is breaking in this hobby is massive. And I think we kind of already knew that, but if you go there and you're trying to gauge like, what percentage of the hobby breaking is, it feels like it's 50% of this hobby at this point.
Really?
Everybody is breaking all the time. On Friday, really great guy, Troy LaCastro, Casual Troy from DA Card World, David Adams. he broke hockey the entire day at their booth. And so not just the whatnots of the world, everybody was breaking, whether it's live in-person breaks at the National or it was, just breaking with people that wanted to be at the National or, from all across the country or world or Canada or something like that. I can't believe how big breaking has got. And I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing but it sure makes you think.
I think breaking's good, but it has bad tendencies or bad actors in it. Just like anything else.
Yeah.
I think it's good, man. Overall, I think it's good. I like a good break. Scratches an itch.
Yeah. Get help if you have problems, right? Get help.
Yeah, there you go. But the money that people were spending, like the money that Whatnot spent, they had to have spent $500,000 to $1 million.
Wow. Easy. I don't even know what Whatnot is. It's just all it is an app, right? It's like a TV.
They're a technology company. First and foremost, that's what they are. They're a technology
company.
Yeah.
So it's an app on my iPhone if I download it.
Yep.
It's an app on your iPhone that you can that TV allows channels? You to break. I mean, it's a breaking app.
And they have like by category. I can go to hockey breaks. And I see who's live and save people. And then they have a fixed marketplace too now where if you're a hockey breaker and you have cards, you can list it in your fixed marketplace. But they have, we think of Whatnot in terms of sports, but they got comic books, vinyl records, retro video games.
Oh, cool.
There's stuff on like
what about
sales, clothing.
I get Hasselhoff tutoring in real life. We keep it old school, but I know there's a lot of programs out there that you can tutor. Maybe that's something.
It's more like transactional commerce.
Yeah,
like a good example would be Troy at one time. Who's the artist? Like the artist that created Deadpool. He would take a Funko Pop, like the Funko Pops, like in the little box.
Yeah, I got Wayne in the back there.
You would have pen markers and actually draw Deadpool live on the screen, like on the Funko Pop, and then you could buy it from him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
They call it remarking. So he took a Funko Pop. My daughter loves Deadpool, so I was watching it, and I bought her one of the remarks that he drew. Like the creator of Deadpool did the cartoon of Deadpool on the box of the Funko.
That's pretty cool.
And now she has it. And it wasn't. This was way back then. It wasn't that expensive. I mean, like $60. I mean, but now it's probably a lot more.
The app has your credit card information, I'm assuming, and if you make an agreement
with all that stuff.
Okay.
But Josh has mentioned this before. Whatnot is very good on their app to make it the easiest purchase possible, and to make it quick, and to make it kind of like you forgot you purchased it. Like you can.
Well, they call it in that world. It's like in the e-commerce world, you call it like frictionless, right? Because you want to make it so easy where there's not even a little hesitation point, right? Where that causes somebody to think, should I buy into another break? And that's where it gets. There's like a gambling aspect to it.
I smell regulation.
Yeah, well, we had people reach out to us that were like, I thought I was just having fun, and then I got my credit card bill, and I was like, I can't pay this.
You think PSA with their hustle on their upcharges, you think they're the only big dog in the fight? The feds are going to step in and want a piece of that pie real quick, real fast, real quick. The bigger it gets, right? So, we all know that.
We're back. No more Whatnot. What's next?
Yeah. Just stop distracting.
The last thing I want to say on Whatnot is just to give you guys an idea of like how big their presence was and how big of a spectacle they created. Way bigger than Fanatics.
Interesting.
So I mean, I would say like from a branding standpoint, like they dominated the show. And then on the other side, that's where you had your Fanatics, Panini, Upper Deck, your eBay was on they had a stage like Dennis Rodman on at some point. They were kind of trying to do some live stuff they have an eBay live platform. So they were having like Dennis sign pictures of him like from his basketball playing days, and then they would either give them off to the crowd or auction them off there.
Are you guys on one? Like, so I know you just told a story, but that you did use Whatnot. Do you use it often? Is it something you look on, or is it part of your phone routine in the day?
Honestly, what I use, because I don't buy into a lot of breaks personally.
Yeah.
What I use it for, what it's really good for is you can see a lot of hockey breaks, and on release day, if I want to get a sense for our show of what, because you can watch them open case after case of a product. And so it gives you a really good sense what kind of cards
And the
that's
comments, you get to see kind of what people react to, even.
And then we'll ask the breakers who are like Troy is saying, who are 4 cases in, like, what do you think of the product? Right? They know better than anyone at that point.
Is that what Moose and Breezy go on? Whatnot? Are they Moose and Breezy? They're Whatnot people? Okay.
Louis, you got a question?
Yeah, I'm sure one was, but how many grading companies were there?
All of them were there. They had Tag was there. PSA had a pretty big presence. Beckett had a big presence. CGC and SGC. CGC did something kind of cool where you could, and I know Jeremy did it. I didn't take the time to do it, but you could go sign up and they would give you, I think it was like 10 cards or 15 cards, and you got 20 minutes to guess the grades. So to play grader. And then whoever was most accurate in grading the cards, because they were in like slabs where the grade that didn't show the letter grade. And then you had to, on a piece of paper, write down, okay, this card I think is a 9 or a 7 or something like that. And I think they were giving away prizes for that. But they were all there. It's the Super Bowl of the hobby.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to describe the National. So if you're going to have a serious presence in the hobby, now we could maybe make an exception on the hockey side a little bit, and we'll get into that soon. But yeah, for any sort of company that services the hobby at large, you have to be there.
Was there a chance to even get in line? I mean, how long was the line for these places?
They were pretty long, but I don't know how fast they're moving. But I know that PSA was doing on-site grading, and I saw CGC. I'm sure all of them were doing that. So if you don't know what that is, that's where you could drop off your card, get it graded by the end of the day or the end of the next day, and actually have the card graded on site. No, you're going to pay a lot. I want to say CGC was something like $155 for like their walkthrough service at the show. But what a lot of people will do at these shows is they'll find a card that is raw. Like one of the dealers, I'll give you like a hockey example, had one of the 2005 Black Diamond Ovechkin rookies, the quad diamond. If they've put those cards in extended every year, but it's like the real 2005 rookie. And it was raw. It was the one card I was really thinking about while we were there, and it looked nice. Right. So in theory, you could, I think the guy was asking $700 for it. I don't even know if that's a good comp or not, but you could maybe, okay, he's asking 700. I could maybe buy it for, let's say I get it for 6. I walk it over to PSA, spend $200 to get it graded. It comes back at 10. I might be able to turn that around for, and I'm just completely making up prices here for $1,500 or something like that. And so I think a lot of people, well, and even at the expo, Phil, and I'm sure you know this too, very similarly, even though Beckett wasn't doing on-site grading for the longest time, they were doing their raw card reviews. So people would buy a raw card, and that's like where Beckett says, well, you pay him what, $20, $25. We're not going to grade the card, but if we did, we think it would be a 9.5. And then they would try to get more for the money based on it being in that raw card review thing. Have you ever done that, Phil, or no?
No, I refuse to.
Okay, but you know what I'm talking about, at least.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, you can buy them. There's a lot of cards at the Ottawa show. They're guys at the expo did that. They didn't go for they dipped their toe in the deep end, but they didn't jump in, you know.
All right, carry on. Good chat.
All right, thanks, Lee. What else? Oh, okay, so let's get to the hockey stuff. Pretty much like we've been talking about for a few weeks. You have to hunt for hockey. It is there. I even saw a few tables that were predominantly, I think most of the tables that were all hockey were guys from Toronto, right? That it's not, I don't think it's a very far drive, maybe like 5 hours, something like that, down to Cleveland, 6 hours. And so they could, make the trip. And these are guys that would be set up at the expo. Again, though, you really had to hunt for tons of vintage baseball, tons of modern kind of stuff.
Did you see Grant there? GP Sports?
I think I saw him, but I didn't stop by his booth. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he looks like a kid in a candy shop. He's having lots of fun down there.
And there are some, pretty high-end hockey stuff. Like Jeremy Lee sent this card right here, the Kaprizov 2020 Metal Universe Gold PMG 101.
$25K they want.
I think what did that sell for a couple years ago, Troy, when it first sold? It was like 38 or something like that.
Wow, that's ridiculous.
I wouldn't pay 25 for it, but again, though, I mean that's a big card. In the if you're you might be able to argue that
grade. What it's got a 7.5, BGS 7.5. Like, okay, what is that? So it's very subpar.
Well, doesn't matter. Really.
It protects the card, man. Sure, okay.
Saw a lot of vintage. Saw a lot of like 1910 C56, C55. Well, a lot, but I mean, a good percentage of the hockey that I saw. So saw some Gretzky rookies, Bobby Orr rookies, etc. Probably the more impressive stuff though was more on like the art and memorabilia side. So there was this painter who had a really big booth and tons of paintings, and they were just amazing. They were spendy though. Like he has a painting version of the Gretzky rookie, which is
that's awesome.
Yeah, totally love that. I think something like that was like $3,000 or something like that. Now, is this the tops or OPG guys? What do you think?
Check the shoulder. Check the shoulder.
It's tops.
It's tops.
Tops.
Plus, it looks really, the oil drop's way too perfect, so it has to be tops. Yeah. That Kaprizov 28,800 in April of 22 US.
Yeah, there's no way you're getting 25.
No.
Josh, you were saying Bobby Orr's. What were the prices like? How were the prices of the vintage? I always do you guys know what to price your vintage at, or
everything was priced really high?
Yeah, okay.
I was there with this kid Nico who goes by Tronic. He's a big buyer and seller. He's from the Twin Cities area, and he knows more about especially the ultra modern, like McKinnon RPAs. And yeah, I think things were consistently overpriced, but I think also dealers were willing to make deals on stuff too. So
did he do well? I mean, he could be a good game.
I didn't buy anything.
Oh, I didn't buy anything.
Yeah, I'll get into that in a second. But I do want to just a couple quick more memorabilia stuff. So there's a Gretzky painting. I thought this next one was cool too. Somebody painted the Bedard Young Guns. Kind of neat.
It's the same guy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the same artist. And then they have a bunch of...
Well, I was wondering, how is this legal? How is this?
Probably not. I don't know.
You big nerd. Let them paint. Yeah, I must draw you like a French girl.
I was always curious, because you're selling something that has an NHL licensing. Do you have to get license approval? Does it matter? Does anyone care? I don't know. That stuff is always curious to me. And I'm listening. I've brought this up before. I'm listening to a podcast called One Song where they talk about remixes, interpolations, and then some of the legal issues that go on. And it just absolutely fascinates me.
Well, I think in music, you run the risk of making $20 million on a hit song and
losing it all.
Wasn't that Robin Thicke's song Blurred Lines? Remember how big that was? He lost all the money. He had to give it to who do you have to give it to? The Pharrell.
Marvin Gaye. No,
Marvin Gaye.
It was Marvin Gaye. Yeah, and then there's one where it's Huey Lewis, or no, the song Ghostbusters by Ray Parker Jr. got sued because it sounded too similar to a Huey Lewis song, and Huey Lewis now gets the profits or whatever.
Crazy. Okay, a couple quick memorabilia items I wanted to show. So they're doing another Golden 100. So that's supposed to be 100 premier items, super big auction. A couple of the items that I thought they had a Gordie Howe Houston Aeros jersey. And the thing that I love about this is it has his full name on the back. Because if you remember, Mark played for the Aeros at the same time he did. So I'm sure they wanted to make sure people knew which Howe was who. But Gordie was 140 years old at the time. So poor eyesight if you can't check that out. But that was really cool. Then they had a game-used Gretzky stick from his rookie year.
Oh, the Titans. Great stuff.
Yeah. So
I see there's a QR code. Did you? I'm always curious how they prove the provenance of this. How do they prove it's from his rookie year? If it's something Gretzky gave it to him, or is it something they had to photo match, or how did they figure it out?
I don't know. Yeah, I think before.
Not that I expected you to ask. I was just curious if
it's the tape job. It's like a forensic for bullets. Ballistics.
This tape was only produced between 1978 and 1980.
The way they turned it up.
Yeah. So again, singles were tough. There was some memorabilia sprinkled here and there. Wax, there's actually some good deals on stuff there were I think maybe 15-10% less of stuff that David Adams or Blowout or Steel City was trying to liquidate. The only thing I bought was 4 boxes of the 2021-22 ice. Remember that, Phil, that has the exquisite, and then has the 2020.
Did you rip
I got nothing, but they were $65 US a box. So that would be what, 50 Canadian, something like that, 45 Canadian a box.
I don't know.
Good deal. And then like they had like 2021-22 Allure for 55 a box. Interestingly, though, the new Allure was sold out.
Ooh.
So it's kind of a hot commodity there. People were looking for it and having a hard time finding it.
How was the 65 US is 89 Canadian.
How was
I was going the wrong way. Sorry.
So a lot of families or like a lot of single women there, or what was the demographic?
Phil, you go right to the single women.
I'm just asking. I can't ask.
No, you can. I interviewed 4 or 5 to be Hasselhoff's stepmom. And
any takers?
We have high standards for that, Phil. We have very high standards. And,
super high standards. Super high.
You know from the show, right? The first question is, are you Eastern European?
Yeah.
So we lost a lot of them.
I don't know. I'm willing to go Southeast Asian lately. Mary Gamble, whoo, she knows her football. That's all I gotta say.
I don't. You guys even talk about her. Who's Mary Gamble?
I don't know. She's
shoot your shot, Phil. Shoot your shot right now.
Well, rumor has it she's already been divorced. So have I, in the heart. And I don't know. She looks fun. I think she gets the game, and she doesn't like hockey, so that's my.
Oh shit! I was gonna say if she does hockey content.
No.
You can get her on, and then
trying to slide into her DMs and talk about ice hockey.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Whatever. I'm just having fun.
So again, like the hockey recap it's 4%, 3% hockey, but we kind of knew that, right? And that's not. And when we go back to our preview show where we got feedback from a whole bunch of people, the consensus, of course, was you, as a hockey collector, you have to have other goals than just find hockey cards to go, because it'll never compare to the Expo in that regard. The Expo wins 1,000 times out of 1,000 for great hockey cards. You have to go for that spectacle of the, just being to the Super Bowl of the hobby, like they said. Beyond that,
I saw cards posted. I saw someone posted a Bobby Orr exquisite, nice auto.
Oh,
Jeremy Lee got that really nice Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah.
You met John Highgloss CBJ. He bought me the Mario Lemieux patch auto for Parker's Champions. Big shout out for him.
Yeah. Saw that. Yeah, I've met a lot of other people at the show. So Jay Peterman for our Discord was there. He introduced himself. Jay Peterman. People actually recognize me, and so we're getting a little bit used to it we never get used to it. It's always weird.
Always used to it.
Yeah, no,
we sounded hoity-toity.
Yeah, no, we're not hoity-toity. We're not. But I was just surprised that anyone would have recognized us at the National, because we're hockey card guys. And a few times every day, people message or recognize me, and so it was awesome to meet people that listen to the show. And yeah. Oh, Troy ran into the Stells 20 and his son, who we've seen at the Expo a couple times. Yes. Remember, they're the ones that gave us the greatest gift we've ever gotten on the show, the custom card of Ryan Suter, the marshmallow thrower.
I have it on a stand behind me. I should go get it. I'll show it off next time. I love that card.
So was very happy to, again, meet some people that listen to our show, stuff like that. Probably the biggest reason, if I'm being honest, is went there from like a networking perspective, and in the hockey content game, it was very good to do that. We met with our folks at Fanatics, so that was good to have a conversation for them, get a little better sense of where they're going with Fanatics Collect. Made some good contacts. Was very businessy, Phil.
Yeah, it's my word.
Business time. You guys ever
other influencers like Card Collector 2? Did you get his autograph or something?
We got an apartment.
Oh yeah. I don't think he's old enough. He got his mom to co-sign.
No. Well, I didn't meet anyone new. We saw like Coach Code there, and Brendan. Okay. He's a great guy. Troy from the David Adams. He's breaking now. I don't think he's doing their kind of show, The Chase, anymore.
Okay.
Who else? Jeremy, of course.
Did Josh or Cartel go? Did you see them? Probably not.
No, I didn't see them.
No, they think Josh takes it easy in the summer a lot. Cole, that's pretty cool. I've actually, do you know, I've never talked to Coach Cole. Never. Not once.
Oh, really? He's a great guy.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but great things. Yeah, I like to make my own call, but reputation precedes him for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. What else?
Troy, why didn't you go? You get free flights. What's your excuse?
Baseball, state baseball. I'm like, I'm at that age, or my kid's at that age where there's not too many more of these. So I will not skip them to go to stuff like this.
Okay.
Got to do it. Now, did either of you have FOMO at all this weekend, or were you just not? Did you not care?
All I want to do is be there. I'd love to go to the National.
Yeah, I mean, I had some, but not a lot. I mean, I would like to see it and see all the stuff, but again, the crowds I hate. I wouldn't have liked standing, even though that line went fast. That's not me. I would have been like, this sucks. But definitely would love to see the National and see what it's around, see what's off. But I don't know. It's gonna be hard with me if the dates are around this time. It'll be really hard for me the next, couple of years to make it. So we'll see.
Just got to grow the show as big as possible, so you can just get vendor passes and just slip on in the back door.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'd like to get involved with them in some way, and again, help people create more hockey events, stuff like that. So I think that would be fun. Yeah, that's the two biggest takeaways were the people and the health of the hobby. I didn't go and ask a whole bunch of people about how sales are going. Are you getting? But it was very obvious there's lots of deals being done, and there's so many people. The couple things I did hear is that dealers, while stuff was priced aggressively, or I don't know, overpriced, maybe is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
That they were willing to deal. Like people are coming off of their sort of their line. They bought stuff for $2,000 during the pandemic and they don't want to sell it, even though it's worth $1,000 now. That there's maybe a realization occurring that the prices are different.
Loss cost fallacy, I believe they call it.
Oh, there you go. Way to get fancy. So yeah. It was a good trip. I'm glad I went. We made some good connections for the show, and I think that that hopefully that we'll be able to do some fun stuff for what we're doing.
And you bonded with Dad. You made your dad very happy. It's very important.
He's blown away how much stuff costs. That will never get old.
I can't wait to see him next time. I'm gonna be like, so how do you like all the sweaty men on cardboard?
Yeah. He thought, so my dad was in sales for a long time, worked in the foundry industry, and is no stranger to big conventions.
Yeah.
And he was like appalled how they laid it out. He wanted to talk to the national people.
What a bad thing to do. Who's in charge of organizing this?
Well, you think about it. There's even the Toronto Expo. There maybe is a better way to do it. Like, I don't know.
I would think that the expo is more organized. Like this was laid out, I would say, like IKEA. It was very meandering. You had no idea where you were half the time.
Like they took all the booths and put it like a corresponding dice, and they just threw them down and see where they all landed, and said, "We're good."
Where the expo has rows, like very definitive rows that
rows of columns, like a spreadsheet.
Rows of columns.
Troy, how can you say when I got to the expo on the Thursday, there was a massive fluorescent sign, must have cost like $15,000, that said second main entrance here with a flashing arrow. There's hundreds of people walking to that entrance, the second entrance, and they had a security guard there saying, sorry, it's a mistake. You have to walk around the building to the main entrance, the main entrance. I don't know, maybe unplug the sign. It was. So when I told somebody at the main entrance, she said, oh, we're going to stop everything just to go unplug the sign for you, sir. I couldn't even say anything without sounding rude and it was horrible. So I disagree with you, Mr. Iverson.
What did I say? I don't get what you're disagreeing about.
You said you said the expo, or maybe Josh said it. The expo was better organized.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, sorry, Troy. I didn't mean to yell at you. Yeah.
How can I care? I wasn't even at the national.
Well, you're easier to yell at. I don't know.
Oh man.
All right. Sorry about
that. They did, honestly, again, they did pretty awesome based on how many people were there, and the hobby is alive and well. Interest is. I can't wait to see numbers. I'm sure that they will publish them at some point. I don't know, Louis, if you can even look up at this point at the national as mentioned. If they're smart, they would. That's good PR, but yeah. So, all right. Any other national stuff, or are we ready to move on?
I think I just want to say a lot of people are like, oh, I'm not going. There's not much hockey. Well, I want to go and talk about hockey. I want to go and be hockey there, right? If we get a big enough crew, we should bring like 35 boys and just go as a big entourage. That'd be good.
Yeah, that'd be fun. The boys.
Yeah, I mean, I could go down for a Thursday, and come back Friday.
Yeah,
it's possible.
Fly in your private jet. Well, it'll be in Chicago too.
Chicago.
All right, next summer, we got to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're gonna move on. Got to make a mention for Gongshow partner and sponsor Slab Sharks. Of course, we're thankful for their support of our show. The current Slab Sharks weekly eBay auction is live. Be sure to head to slabsharks.com. Check out the whopping 2,500 cards available this week. How does this get bigger every single week?
I don't know.
It's wild. It's wild.
It takes like almost an hour maybe to go through them all, because I go through every card because I want to make sure I don't miss anything else I want. I don't just filter by hockey. I'll look through everything. It takes a while to scroll through.
Did you go through them all this week, Phil?
I did not. No. And a good hint, a good trick to go through them all is do it on your iPhone. Try as an Android, but if you do it on a cell phone, it's way faster than a desktop.
Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, it's a commitment to 2,500 cards, man. That's crazy.
Well, it can be your magazine on. You can be your magazine on the porcelain throne.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh. Yeah. All right. I didn't look at all 2,500. Troy did, Phil didn't, but we all picked out two of our favorites. Now, something happened today that I'm still trying to get over. It's very exciting and maybe slightly emotional. Troy messages me and said that I picked because we each picked two cards and then we add them to our show notes.
Yeah.
That Troy picked two cards and they were the exact same two cards I picked. This never happened in of all the picks we've done in 2 years of this show. I'm just flabbergasted by that, Troy.
I was literally 0 for 3 because you picked those two, and then I went with another one. I look at it and I guess I better check. And Phil had already done that one. I was like,
I had a backup, Troy. I don't want to yuck your yum, buddy. I'm sorry. I had a backup.
No. It was all good because I already had the two after I saw that.
All right.
But out of 2,500 cards, the fact that we picked the exact same two are pretty awesome. So, but hey, that's a great news. There's lots of good cards. So, Troy, we'll start with you. Which ones were your favorite?
Okay. First card I went with, just purely based on look, because I think it's awesome looking. It's a 2021 Upper Deck Black Cole Caulfield, Black Lustrous Rookies auto, serial numbered 1 out of 25. These were the cards I never can remember, so I had to look it up. It was found in 2122 SPX, even though if you flipped it over on the back, it says UD Black. That's where the UD Black, I think it still is an SPX for that brand. It used to be its standalone, I believe, and then they moved it into SPX, if I remember right. So the actually official name of this card, if you're looking it up, it's like 2122 SPX, UD Black, Lustrous Rookie Signatures Gold is the actual name. I think it looks awesome. I like the picture. I'm glad that Caulfield doesn't have a crazy mouth like he usually does. I mean, he's still got it, but it's not nuts. Look at this. We have a blended in Upper Deck logo. Nice gold. Matches the card and the gold auto. I love how it looks. Not a big fan of the CC, but that's what it is. That's what Caulfield does. So I love the look of this card.
I'm a huge sucker for gold ink
on
black background. Are you, Phil?
Beautiful card. Great choice.
Second card. Boom. We already talked about him. Amazingly, we talked about our boy, Yari Curry. I have a very, very small PC of Yari Curry, like 5 cards. And it's one of those things I really loved him as a player, and I keep wanting to build it. But I saw this card, and it's a clear cut, 2022 Upper Deck clear cut. And I'm becoming to realize that I hate clear cut boxes from the price point, but I do really like a lot of the cards that come out of clear cut.
I'm with you, Troy.
We might have said that when we talked about it earlier, but I just love this card. I think it looks awesome. It's got a nice, clean auto. It's an exclusives. Obviously it's out of 35.
I'd rather Troy, wouldn't you rather the non-exclusives? That's my loophole for the clear cut. Like, oh, bro, this is a high gloss exclusives. Like, who cares, man? The is the clear cut.
Yeah.
Right? Like they're all kind of rare. You get one a box. I mean, I'd rather it not be exclusive. Personally.
Yeah. The one thing about clear cut that I've noticed too is that they don't photo well. Do they always look a little blurry?
They do. They always look blurry. But now you can see the writing on the back, which I don't think you really see.
But it's translucent. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Right? It's a translucent material.
And look, gold Upper Deck logo blends in nice with the card.
All right. Phil used big words. Troy's got his gold logos. I'm going to go through my 2 picks, which are also Troy's picks. So I know they're Troy endorsed for once. First card I had to pick is a 2003-04 SP Authentic Marc-Andre Fleury Future Watch Auto at a 900.
Yeah, this is
raw.
awesome.
Never see these cards.
No, never. Eh? Wild. What
That's
year
what
again? What year?
Well, that's what had happened. Like when I was scrolling through, it's like something. It's weird how your brain can just know these cards you've never seen before, and it's like triggered. And I'm like, what is this? And then, the yellow pads. I don't even know what he's doing. He looks like he's almost one knee's going down, one standing up. It's kind of like
probably trying to save the puck, Troy.
Wow. Yeah, this was early Fleury, so he's good. No, I'm just kidding. Shots fired. I love Fleury, but now it's always a panic attack when the puck shot at him because he looks behind himself like 15 times and flopping all over the place.
Hey, Phil, do you listen to the Essential Credentials podcast ever?
No, probably not.
Okay. There's a guy there that I met who's a huge Fleury collector. And I think that podcast has 2 baseball guys and a hockey guy. He was super nice. I totally forgot his name because I'm an idiot and I can never remember anyone's name. But yeah, this made me think of him now because he was at the National and he just bought like a big Fleury card in a wild uniforming patch out or something like that. So shout out to you. Sorry I forgot your name. I'll look it up and
it's called
memorize it.
Essential Credentials podcast.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I'll look it up. I would love to hear another one. Yeah.
Okay. And then the second one I picked up is a 15-16, just happens to be the almost greatest player wearing the number 8.
Yep.
Teemu Selanne. It's a Reebok patch auto out of 4 from the Cup. Here's another one you don't see every day. And I just have so many questions for you guys about this card. Number 1, do we like red ink auto? And then I'll throw out both questions. And then number 2 is, do we care about Reebok patches? Like, does that help or hurt the card in that? Because like in football, they'll do like the Nike swoosh patch on a card, and that'll be like a huge deal.
Yeah.
Right. And so it made me think it's like we don't have like that same sort of brand affinity with our jerseys in hockey. But what do you guys think? Troy, what do you think about that?
So with the branding, I think Reebok is kind of cool from an old perspective, but if you're doing branding, I don't think I've really seen this. We have the tags, but I want CCM. I want Bauer. I want something that the big hockey brands that we all know. I don't want the laundry tag. And I don't even know if I've seen CCM or Bauer stuff in cards. So I don't think they probably do that. I like red autos. I think the auto looks cool. I do think it's too high. I wish they could have found a way to slide everything down a little bit to get it more away from his face. But it is what it is. Again, I'm going to sound like a broken record. I'm going to keep saying it until they do this on every card. I love how the red Cup logo blends in. It's a Cup logo. It's amazing that they could change that without getting yelled at, but they found a way. I think the card looks great. I mean, I like the Reebok from the sense of Reebok hockey. I liked Reebok hockey stuff. And then they got sold. I can't remember who bought them. Nike, CCM, someone bought them.
Okay, Phil, before you chime in, like, because I'm again thinking about this patch, and what Troy mentioned about the laundry tag is very similar to what Upper Deck tends to do. And I get it because it's the smaller part of the jersey. There's only one Reebok patch, and so what they're taking is like the laundry tag, which is this tiny little patch on a jersey that there's only one of them, and they put that on an exclusive card. Like on this card, being the 404 or the 101, is it cooler to have the Reebok patch, Phil, or would you love to see like the from the chest logo or something like that?
Oh, I would much rather a part of the logo, the jersey, the arm patch, but I'd rather this than the laundry tag. Okay. As a big collector of Brady with a lot of the Cup parallels and the inserts, I really don't care for the laundry tag one. I just bought it because it was one of 2 and I had the second one. So I kind of bought it by default. I was like, well, I got to buy this, but I think it's super silly. It's cool. Like it's one of those things you say, right? I admire Upper Deck for trying something totally different. It would have been cool maybe for a year. Be like, oh yeah, that's the year they did laundry tags. That was kind of different. But now if they're doing it every year, it's like, okay, dude, we get it.
Well, I want to know when the debut patches are coming. Like Steel Fanatics. I saw the video of Ruben kind of talking about how they got that made.
Yeah.
And who knows? This is Ruben. Just remember, this is Ruben. I don't know, very eccentric. So we'll see but he basically said he got told by his product team that no way that's going to happen. They can't do it. No way. Ruben, of course. Oh, I just got on the phone, called Rob Bansfeld from MLB, told him my idea. Rob said, get it done, and hung up on me. And that's how it happened.
Well, that's the whole big Ruben thing, right? He has
Yeah.
all the connections and makes stuff happen. Okay, so according to Louis, the essential credentials guys are Greg, Matt, or Alan. Unfortunately, that doesn't narrow it down.
You still don't know who you met.
So, but hey, because I'm an idiot and I'm rude and I forgot your name, go check out Essential Credentials podcast. We'll try to give you a little bit of a plug there. All right, Phil, what are your two favorites?
We'll put them up. Yeah, nice. I love the original cup. What you're looking at here is the cup base design of Connor McDavid. It's a 101. And that's all it is. It's just the base design of the Cup 0506, I believe. And then Connor McDavid, beautiful blue Oilers jersey, autographed, 101. Very simple. Love it.
It's from 2018, so it's kind of
yes. It's not. Well, he wasn't around, right? He was still eating craft dinner at lunchtime. And
okay, I have questions about this card. What do you think you would pay for something like this, or what do you think it's worth?
I'd pay $1,000, but obviously that card's going to go for way more than $1,000. You know, but for me, I would any regular McDavid Gretzky card that I like, $1,000 I think is kind of my, you know, reasonable.
Okay, now you're selling this card. What are you asking for it?
I wouldn't sell this card.
Play along.
Okay, fine. If I was selling this card, I'd want $8,500.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. What do you think, Troy?
The only thing that bugs me is that the auto's off to the right.
Oh, Jesus, Troy. It's not off to the right. It's okay, it is a little bit. But if it was more to the left, it would hit his legs.
Yeah.
No, if you were selling it, what would you ask for it?
Oh God, I don't know. I'd probably five to five. We'll say 5,000 to 6,000.
See, it would sell for $5,000. I think,
yeah.
To the right buyer.
Okay. Next one.
This one, $100,000.
This is the card I stole from Troy. You got Curtis Joseph Young Gun card, which it's not his Young Guns card, but it's a beautiful card. And I think Curtis Joseph has a star rookie, I believe. And that's one of my favorite Upper Deck cards ever. So what you're looking at is a fake. Well, it's not a fake. What do I say? It's
reproduction or something.
A reproduction from.
Or is it like it's not really a reproduction because you said this wasn't the original. Is that not the original?
That's not his original picture. No.
So it's kind of. Like
I know what it is.
Tribute.
Well, it's Curtis Joseph. Tribute.
It's from this. It's the priority signings card from the Spring Expo.
Yeah.
Oh, so this was one of the redemption packs. Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. That's not a sticker auto, is it?
It is. I was gonna rip on you. But
I didn't see this.
I should
put my glasses on.
Look at that stickerness.
So this is Troy's card. I don't want anything to do with this card. So I would take the sticker off and just keep the card.
What about like this is like the mailbag question we had. And I still think about that mailbag question all the time. What about I don't know what happens if you take the sticker off, if it rips it. But what about taking the sticker off if you get it off clean and then having him sign it?
Yes.
On card? Yeah.
Yes, that's what I would do. I want to do that with the Kaprizov Exquisite.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of digging that from a person. Like, if you're going to keep it forever, go for it.
Boys, it's great. Trust me. Anybody does that and you show somebody else, though, their jar will drop. It'll be a story to tell. Absolutely.
I wish Upper Deck would do designs like this at the expo now. They're kind of going like their own kind of priority signings design, and where I like this kind of retro feel to it.
Yeah, I think this would be a huge hit, especially seeing how the SP Legends went, how Parkhurst seems to be going. I think it would be a huge hit to do like some old Young Guns designs, but then we complain about retro designs all the time. So who knows?
Well, if you're a Canadian hockey cards collector, Troy, Phil, and I strongly recommend checking out and evaluating slabsharks.com or Slabsharks eBay consignment services at slabsharks.com. Why? Because we're confident you're going to like it. And how could you not? They make it super easy to sell your cards on eBay. Well, they're experts at it for also, They have those weekly auctions that are monsters, like 2,500 cards. That means lots of eyeballs are going to be on your cards when they're in your auction. So all you got to do is ship them your cards, drop them off at one of the many shows that Slabsharks has reps at, and they take it from there. You don't have to do anything else, which I think is pretty slick. So for complete consignment info, including payout rates, and to start the consignment process today, check out slabsharks.com. Hobby news!
Hobby news!
News from the hobby.
You always got to be a snowflake. But we love it. All right, guys. Very, very exciting. Troy's favorite part of the week. He messaged me this morning saying, "Oh, wait, for another exhilarating installment on the road to infinity. That's where we're tracking the rapid rise of the Connor Bedard base Young Guns PSA 10. We covered on our last show that Bedard was 5th most cards graded of all time already, which is pretty crazy. A good chunk of those graded cards are his Young Guns cards, and many of those PSA 10s. In the past few weeks, we've been inching closer and closer to the 5K mark, which would put that card in rare air for graded hockey cards. There's only 2 hockey cards with more than 5,000 PSA 10s. Troy and Phil, do you guys remember which ones those are? What are the 2 hockey cards that have
Yager,
more than
OPG Premier? I know that one.
Nope.
Is it what? What did you just say?
There's 2 hockey cards that have more than 5,000 PSA 10s.
More than 5,000.
Connor McDavid Young Guns? I don't know, man. I don't know.
Louis, do you have any idea?
No.
Well, Jack Hughes Young Guns and Kirill Kaprizov Young Guns.
Really?
Oh, I should have got the Kaprizov.
Yeah,
I wouldn't know any of those.
I was so screwed up. I thought it was most graded.
But back to Bedard. On our last show, the number had risen to 4,553 PSA 10s, less than 500 from that magical 5,000 mark. Will it get there this week? Will it be next week? Well, it's time to find out. You nervous, Phil? You look nervous.
No, I'm fine.
Okay. All right, you sure? As of the most current PSA 10 pop reports and certified by the law firm of Tortorella, Marchenko, and Byfield, the current PSA 10 population count for Connor Bedard base Young Guns is, drumroll, Troy.
I like the other drum roll.
There we go. 4,674.
Oh, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, so we're slowing down. Only 121 more in the past week. That's less than 20 a day, guys. So is the hobby dying, Phil?
No, it's not dying. The dealers are just stopped selling as much to each other. Now they're all trying to find buyers.
Yeah.
Who's buying
on
this
air production meeting? I think we scrapped this for like a month just so I don't get so depressed when I see the number.
Well, I was gonna say that we're gonna do it once a week till 5,000. Then we're gonna do it once a month after that.
Yeah, she's dying. It's over. It's over.
Oh, hold on, boys. Hold on to your seats because we haven't even gotten started talking about Bedard and grading. Prepare for your minds to be blown.
Like the total number, that's more interesting to me. Screws Young Guns. Junk variety, baby.
All right, just hang on, Phil. So now only 10,194 copies of the Bedard Young Guns have been graded. So that's another milestone, more than 10,000 copies of one card. But as I mentioned, I have another Bedard grading update for you guys today. So remember, 4 whole days ago on our show, we reviewed what you had asked about, Phil. The hockey players with the most graded cards of all time by the 4 main grading companies. So PSA, Beckett, SGC, CGC. Now, do you guys remember that Connor Bedard already was the 5th most graded player ever, right? Remember that?
Yes, I remember.
Well, what was your favorite Bedard 5th place of all time?
Starting 4th?
Because, well, Troy.
Yeah, screw you. Screw you, Lemieux. Oh.
Now, 4 whole days later, the hockey player with the 3rd most graded hockey cards ever is Connor Bedard.
Ooh.
He just leaped over Mario Lemieux and Sidney Crosby. There have now been 62,869 Bedard cards graded.
That's so it's like 62,000.
869 cards graded.
Oh my goodness. This is why the aliens won't reveal themselves. These are the humans. This is why we were close. We were close, but we just didn't make it.
They just did the flyby and we're like, nah.
They will come back another 100 years, see what happens.
In 4 days, he went from number 5 to number 3. So he's now about 23,000 behind second place, which would be Connor McDavid. So McDavid has 85,495 cards graded. And then Wayne Gretzky, of course, is still the king, up to 240,805 cards. So
okay. Where are these cards for sale? Is it just like, I guess we're going to find out in November at the Expo, like half the showcases are going to be like SPX out of $4.99, the stuff no one even cares about. Like,
no one cares about.
God. All right. Well, just
when you still have
Jersey ones.
Yeah, I'm kind of previewing mailbag here for a minute too, but we got questions about like SPA pre-sale price at like 600 Canadian or something like that. How as we get into like the back half of the Bedard release, it's a big sets, Premier, Ultimate, Cup, SP Authentic. When there's 100,000 Bedard slabs already on the market,
that's but flops are what matters, man. And listen, anyone listening, you're spending if you spend anything over. If you spent, okay, I've only spent $5-6 grand on Bedard cards and I have a good 15, I'm going to sell them when he gets hot. You're going to sell them when all the Future Watch autos are coming out? Come on, sell them now, save your money, be smart. Smart money is long-term money. Save now and buy your flops later. That's what I would do. Or an exclusive, a numbered young gun if you're playing that game. Obviously, Sylvain is better to ask. I'm a jabroni, I don't know, but that's what I would do. So do the opposite.
Okay. But he's 23,000 behind McDavid, and there's still more McDavid cards that are graded every day too. But do you guys think this year he passes McDavid for the number 2 spot?
Yes. How far is he behind?
He's 23,000. McDavid has 85,495 cards graded. Bedard is at 62,000.
I guess
816.
Yeah, he will.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I'll go yes.
How many Bedards are going to be in your favorite set coming out there? X 2000 Pi 3.14 or something.
I don't care. I'm not chasing those. I'm chasing other guys. So, well, there's hobby news. All right, Phil, we ready?
Yeah, we're flowing my glowing.
Time for a little dose of hobby positivity with what puts the glow in Phil's flow.
It's all you, bud.
I just have to increase the font of my. I apologize. You guys caught me off guard.
Not gonna comment on the picture again.
Oh, I didn't see the picture. What puts the glow in Phil's imaginary flow? Listen, thank you. No,
we got the good one. Yes. We got the real one.
Don't you listen, boys. I spent a lot of hard work on that thing. Okay, so if you can see here, there's a picture on the screen of preteen, teenage boys sitting in front of a fireplace watching Hockey Night in Canada. Mom's supposed to be making cookies in the background, but she's not there. But they're trading cards. There's Nintendo, Pizza Hut box, very comfy, cozy, nostalgic. So today, the glow in my flow, I wanted, no, it's not a paid advertisement, but I wanted to talk positively about Upper Deck. Upper Deck. So if you grew up collecting hockey cards, you know the magic I'm talking about. Opening a pack of Upper Deck cards was like unwrapping a mini Christmas gift every week. The thrill of peeling back the wrapper, the suspense of what might be inside. Could I finally score my Wayne Gretzky card? Any Wayne Gretzky card was fantastic back then, just like a McDavid. But let's be honest, finding that elusive, highly sought-after card was like discovering a flying spaghetti monster through your telescope. It made you feel like a hero, an explorer. Remember the excitement of pulling a rookie card? Oh, man, I remember pulling an Ozzie Canseco rookie card, thinking it was an error from Score. I was king of grade 3 for a few days until Dustin Lawrence's older brother got the new Beckett and shattered my dreams. Dustin. And let's not forget the collective sigh of relief when we managed to keep our cards in pristine condition, only to realize years later that our mint cards were probably not as mint as we thought. And speaking of mint cards, did anyone else have a system of storing their cards that seemed foolproof at the time? My personal favorite was the elastic band around my cards in the old shoebox that I crammed them all in, because nothing says like a professional collector like storing priceless memorabilia in a shoebox from your mother's closet. Upper Deck just wasn't about the cards, though. It was about the timing. The designs were so different, so iconic, capturing the essence of the game with stunning photography and innovative layouts. 90, 91, 92. Each card was a snapshot of hockey history, from the gritty action shots to the goofy draft cards that all made us laugh. You know what I'm talking about. Scott Lachance, look that up. Upper Deck evolved the designs, but one thing remained constant. The excitement of pulling a card with a player that you looked up to. Remember the thrill of seeing a player like Gretzky or Lemieux featured predominantly in the series? It was like having a mini piece of hockey history right in your hands and living it. And let's not overlook some of those insert cards. We were there. We were in the birthplace of those inserts. A rare insert felt like striking gold, and but instead of a chest of treasure, you had a rookie card that made you the envy of your friends. One of the best parts of collecting Upper Deck cards was also the community. Lunchtime recess was the place where you could geek out about our favorite players, trade cards, and make new friends. It was a stomping ground where everyone understood the thrill of the chase and the joy of completing a set. Trading was an art form, some of us better than others. We'd spend hours negotiating deals, trying to get the best possible trade for that elusive Upper Deck card we needed. The satisfaction of completing a trade felt like winning a mini jackpot. And let's not forget the occasional dramatic trade-off where we thought we'd struck the deal of the century, only to realize later we might have just overpaid a smidge. That Ozzy Canseco card I reference. As we've seen over the years, Upper Deck has evolved, adapting to new trends and innovations in the collectibles market. From introducing game-used memorabilia cards, to pioneering technology, Upper Deck has consistently pushed the envelope and set new standards in the industry. That was a little cheesy. It's fascinating to see how Upper Deck has embraced digital formats and new ways to connect with the collectors. The introduction of digital cards and online platforms has opened up new opportunities for fans to engage with the hobby. It's a testament to Upper Deck's commitment to staying relevant and innovative. However, with the rise of e-Pack, we must remember that while our cards must be virtual and easier to attain, our health should still remain a very real prospect in our lives. Collecting e-Pack cards can involve hours of sitting in front of screens, which can be less than ideal for our fitness. So here's a friendly reminder. Just because we're not physically handling the cards doesn't mean we should neglect our physical health. Stretch, exercise, and maybe even set a timer to remind yourself to take some breaks, e-Pack friends. Your future self and your back will thank you. Sometimes Upper Deck's innovations can leave us scratching our heads. There was the time Upper Deck released a set with the player cards only described as mystery poses. Sometimes players are doing yoga or wearing masks, juggling, or in one memorable instant, lounging by a pool in rollerblades. It was as if Upper Deck had decided that the NHL's off-season's antics were just as important as their on-ice skills. Let's be honest, I never really imagined collecting cards of players in Hawaiian shirts, but hey, certainly gives us something to talk about. Let me share a personal reflection of my journey with Upper Deck. There's something special about the memories associated with collecting. I remember the excitement of finding that perfect card, that's the satisfaction of completing a set, and the joy of sharing my collection with my friends to this day. One of my fondest memories was pulling a rare insert card at the last expo. It was like finding a needle in a haystack, and when I finally saw it, I felt a surge of triumph. Or was it just Josh looking at me saying, "Holy crap, dude," as if you just pulled that? The card became a centerpiece of my collection, a tangible reminder of the excitement and passion that Upper Deck, Parker's Champions, has inspired in me. That card sparked an inner little loud Phil again. It has since been the backbone of my entire journey in completing my long-awaited Parker's Champions set. As we reflect on Upper Deck's legacy, it's clear that their impact goes far beyond just the cards themselves. They've created a lasting impression on the world of cards and have touched the lives of us all degenerates. The memories we've made through collecting Upper Deck are just a testament to their influence and the joy they've brought into our lives. As we look into the future, it's exciting to think about the new ways Upper Deck will continue to engage with collectors and introduce new innovations. Whether it's through new card designs, digital formats, or special edition releases, and as weird as they come, one thing is for certain, even though they frustrate us to no end as well, Upper Deck will remain a cherished part of our hobby for years to come. Here's to the magic of opening the pack, the thrill of finding the rare card, and the joy of sharing our passion with others. To Upper Deck, thank you for being a part of our lives and for continuing to enable our cardboard addictions. And that's the glowing my phone.
So cute.
Oh.
Yeah,
there you go.
Is,
Are you a job? Or?
how much did Upper Deck pay and where's my cut?
No, I know. You have no idea how many times I rewrote that. I tried to throw digs in them, but I wanted to feel good about it.
Listen, it's perfect. Like, we have to look at both sides. Like, we can probably do one of these segments. We've done it in the past where what we would change in Upper Deck. Me and Josh sat there and said, we changed this. It's good to get this out. This was all personal opinions, and some people agree, some won't disagree. But then, down the road, we'll have a show where we talk about what we don't like about a certain company. No, it's good to hear. It's good to get both sides, and right on.
It's a love-hate, just like my sense. I can't stand it when people are you know, well, they're trying their best, and like, what, you're a GM, and man, get out of here with that crap. Like, passion wins. Love, hate, it's all the same ball. It's all the same rat's nest. I respect anything passionate. So we're allowed to trash Upper Deck, and I'm also allowed to, you know, do what I just did, which was a little ridiculous. Trust me, I rewrote that so many times. But that's how I felt, man. I don't have, you see up, I don't have that in my room for nothing. That Upper Deck board there. I love Upper Deck.
Was that a promposal? Was that
yeah. I was
okay. I have so many questions that we need to go through right now. What motivated you to do that? I not that I disagree with it. I'm glad that you did it too, but I'm just kind of curious, like, what put this love in your heart, Phil?
I was actually, I have a bit of a problem. I keep rewatching Jeremy Lee's interview with the president of Upper Deck from like a year or two ago.
Yeah.
And
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I actually would probably get along with him very well, but it frustrates me to no end because he lives on the other side of the river from me, and I just smell the commerce, the capitalism as it should. So I started to write a poo on my shoe, and it just started getting nasty. And I'm like, you know what? There's a flip side to this coin. There's an absolute flip side to this coin. And, you know, personal growth. I'm 43. Try to be a better Phil tomorrow than I am today, right? But it's not always the case. So, I don't know. Just tried to focus on some good. I tried to focus on what to be grateful about. Look how much fun I'm having with my Parker's champions. And, yeah, okay, I complain about the grading and all that. And, you know, but I want to focus on some fun stuff of our hobby. Everything's so money oriented and you know, I just wanted to that's why I use this picture, this comfy, cozy picture, very blockbuster type.
Is this an AI picture? Or
that is an AI. I'm good with Photoshop, but I needed more time to write than draw. Right?
Well, if you're watching on YouTube, I love how the chimney is part of the TV. I think that's what that's trying to do. I want to know what game this looks like. A game that I've played, but it's probably not. It's just an AI. What they think hockey is. But I love
apple pie.
Yeah, no, Pizza Hut. Where's the apple pie?
And the above the kid's head.
Oh, well, that's not Canadian. There's a Canadian flag here. Apple pie is American, right? What?
They have better lighting than Phil does.
We have apple pie too, Troy.
I know, but you're not known for apple pie. I was just saying, that's the American.
That's fair enough. But yeah,
I love how you got there, though. I love how you got into writing this by starting out with a poo.
Yeah, yeah. He just said, "I got to stop watching that interview." I just don't understand why Upper Deck wouldn't hire someone. The FBI hires, when they arrest hackers, they hire them. Yeah, you know, because they're on the front lines. They understand what's going on. I don't understand why Upper Deck. I'm not saying hire an influencer. I'm saying hire someone that clearly collected cards. Just didn't say they did in the interview. Everyone that is applying at an Upper Deck job is saying, "Oh, I used to collect cards when I was a kid. Yeah, it was fun. Get out of here. You're not one of us. You can smell if you're not one of us quickly." You need to hire someone like that.
I was gonna say, was that the interview where Jeremy was talking, like asking about print runs and stuff, and saying how that was
older than that.
I remember one time they got a good discussion about print runs and announcing print runs and stuff like that. I was loving it.
It was a very businessy conversation. I just can't connect to it, you know. And I don't think we should. There will always be a business separation but there's no reason that middle part can't be friendlier and more accurate, you know. Because like the way it's going now is breakers and influencers are representing us. You're telling me all those American influence represent our hockey card community?
Yeah,
no,
true.
Come on, that's super silly. So it's bothersome, you know. It's a little bit bothersome. So I'd love Upper Deck maybe to do something different. And I don't know. I know things are weird with fanatics and everything, and I won't even pretend to know half the things going on behind the scenes. But just want that comfy, cozy feeling back, you know.
Can I tell you what I took out of your?
Sure.
There's a lot of, I think like the whole glass half empty, glass half full perspective really works for this hobby. If I wanted to, I could be angry all day about the hobby. And a lot of people, like when they message us that are upset about something, like they really want us to, because it's human nature, right? They want us to share their anger. And so like we get fired at people all day long that are rightfully so. Like they've been waiting 6 years for redemption, or they hit a big card and one of the corners is bent in half. Totally frustrating, and I totally get where people are coming at. But I like this hobby. I enjoy it. I actually love it. And I've worked really hard to choose to focus on the areas of the hobby that I find enjoyment out of versus spending all day about being angry about something that I'm supposed to do for fun. Right. And that's what I hate almost talking about this because I don't want to ever come off as like trying to say how people should or shouldn't be or act or think or do. But there's a lot of people that I will sit and think to myself, why do they do this? They're so mad all the time. Or they seem to hate everything. About maybe that's me being judgmental or something like that, which I can acknowledge. But I think what you did is you chose to, like I said, I could list 1,000 things that Upper Deck does wrong and 1,000 things that Upper Deck does right. And so I often think, what's like, well, what do I want to what should I focus on? What's better for me? What's better for my enjoyment? What makes my hobby experience better? And it doesn't mean you ignore the things that are wrong, you don't have right, or that we shouldn't be vocal as a hobby. But I get sad at times how angry people are, I guess.
Yeah, especially now. The culture of the world, right? It's the gotcha world.
Don't worry, we're the yin and the yang. I'll focus on the I'll be the angry one of us.
Troy, you bring the hate.
I'll be the
hate, Troy.
Troy's the god of thunder.
Like, hey, where's my Pekka Rene redemptions? They've been sitting around for 2 years. Because I want to get Pekka.
It's really easy to get angry, and a great quote is, a strong character responds, it doesn't react. Right? So that's I like that one. Yeah.
All right, Phil. Well, hey, you've given us a lot to think about, and so thank you for doing that. We're going to move on, though. Got to make a mention for our partner, Fanatics Collect. They are a partner and sponsor of our show, and of course, we're thankful for their support. I went and saw them at their booth at the National. As I mentioned in my little spiel about my experience, my biggest takeaway from that conversation, guys, I had with them is they really seem, and I genuinely mean this, to be prioritizing the collector experience and taking the long view, which I was very happy as someone that's aligned with them, that seems to be what they're doing. Like we talked about it last week, where they've made some policy changes around card authentication. They've worked to revitalize the buy now marketplace. Love the changes that they made there with that buy now marketplace. So, in case you're not familiar, what was happening with the old PWCC fixed price marketplace is collectors would have cards in their vault. Let's say the card's worth $1,000, and then they would say, well, it's just sitting in my vault. Why not throw it in the fixed price marketplace for some sort of obscene price, like $20,000? And if somebody comes in and spends 20 grand on my $1,000 card, okay, I guess I'll sell it. But the net effect of that is it really ruins sort of the intent of that marketplace, and it makes it frustrating as a collector who's looking for good cards at a reasonable price. And so they made a ton of changes there. They delisted cards. Now you can only have a card for 90 days. They have certain price guardrails that they put on. They have a way to mark listings that have good prices, like it says like good deal or something on that, to give you a queue. And so just a lot of changes that they're working on to, like I said, improve that collector experience. They changed the fee structure. So even as a seller now, if you're selling a car in their buy now marketplace and it's sells for less than 120, you pay 6% in fees, which is pretty awesome. And again, positive steps in the right direction. So I would encourage everyone to check out their new revitalized buy now marketplace. I think there's like 4,200 hockey cards. Like they wiped basically it all out and started over. And then just all the other changes at fanaticscollect.com. And then remember, their weekly auction hasn't stopped. And on Thursday, Troy and I are going to pick out our favorites from both vintage and modern. Okay. New product releases. Well, there's not a new set this week because we just had Allure last Wednesday. One of the things I love to do, though, fair or unfair, I don't really know, is a few days after release to go and look at secondary market sales, because I think it gives you a early sense of what sort of momentum a set has on the secondary market. Now, we already got a little bit of a queue from the National where you couldn't find it, right? People were sold out. So it's like, that makes you definitely think there. And it's super early. It's been like 4 days. So you got to keep that in mind. But again, though, it's fun to see what the early activity is like. And is it all Connor Bedard? Is there other cards or other players that people are chasing as well. So we're going to look at the top 5 early sales from Allure. And remember, any sale that's referenced from eBay, which they all are, because cards haven't had time to make it to the Fanatics and Slab Sharks of the worlds yet, but they will be soon. That anything that's sold on eBay is verified in Terapeak. Okay, you guys ready?
Let's do it.
Excited, Phil, you look so excited.
It's late for me, man.
Hey,
Very
podcast
late.
life, bro.
Don't worry, you got a mailbag about an hour and a half.
About 400,000 questions. So get ready for that.
I better relax.
You got to bring the heat, Phil. You got to bring the heat. Come on.
Oh, I'm hot. Don't worry.
Okay, number 5. Connor Bedard, rookie, green rainbow out of 99. I think this is a new parallel this year. Sold for $275 US on July 27th. I think that's a reasonable price for a Bedard. See, now we're getting into reasonable price. Like, had Allure come out in February, this would have been like $47,000, right?
Probably. Maybe not that high, but close.
Not that high. I was exaggerating, but so I can live with that. Number 4, Matthew Nyes, 16-bet. Sold for $326 US on July 26th by eBay best offer.
Hold on. Doesn't that picture? I know we're talking.
Scared little boy.
Even 16-bit has bad hockey mouth, is what I was.
It looks. I don't know. Maybe it's the lips. It reminds me of this. The Super Mario fish flying.
Yeah.
Because of the lips. Like I've seen this before somewhere. I love it. Great. That adds an extra $100 to it.
Number 3, Mo Sider, Golden Treasures, 101. So for
that's a Golden
$550
Treasures? Weird.
Yeah.
$550, I think, is a really good price. That's me, though.
As July 24th, eBay best offer. Number 2, interesting one. Very interesting.
Ooh.
Stanley Cup full rainbow color flow with Wayne Gretzky's sticker auto. So for $723 US by eBay auction, July 17 or July 27th.
I have no clue to think about. I have no clue to think about this card.
I'm so close to liking it. Yeah. I don't though. I don't like it.
Why the sticker?
And they can't win with this card, right? Like, well, what do you want, Phil? Do you want no white area for the auto? I'm like, I don't know. Like, you can't win. I don't know. They're close. They're 95% the way there.
Can I say something controversial?
Go ahead.
Would this card be better without Wayne's autograph?
Yes.
I think so
want
too.
I want Wayne's autograph. What if he signed?
But there's 800,000 cards.
Yeah, you can buy a Wayne Gretzky auto anytime, any day. It's
all right. Fine. What's number 1?
Number 1.
Who do you think? Take a guess.
Connor Bedard. Ice breakaway out of 10. Raw. So for $872 US.
What? That's such a cheesy
Phil,
card.
this is one of those cards you were talking about.
Yeah, no one's buying this card ever.
Cards. Yeah.
Good job, guy who bought that card. Unless he really likes it. I don't want him. I'm sorry if you're an ice breakaway guy.
Oh, it was me. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it was you?
No.
Not my
Here's
style.
what I'd say, though, is that after 4 days, I think a pretty decently strong for a lower end box secondary market sales.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
I'd agree. $800 for this card. Yes, I would say it's off to a good start.
$872.
That's wild.
That is
crazy.
Also
completely wild.
Also, a guy who hit the Bedsy 16-bit messaged us, already graded it. It got a PSA 10. That's fast.
5K?
And I think he's putting it in the Slab Sharks auction next week.
Oh, that's Thorson.
I think Michael Sarah will bid on it since it's the
maybe he
card.
should, eh?
Oh, it'll be fun to see where that goes.
I say 5K.
Okay.
Let's predict. I say 5,000.
I think it's more. I think it's 8.
No, more than that? Oh my God.
For sale. I mean, it will. For sale will be
8. I'd want to, if someone bought that for 8,000, I'd have to find out where they live, knock on their door and shake their hand, because I need to meet that person.
Oh, you want to do a friendly wager? Like for a box of Parker's Champions at the expo?
No, I'm keeping that. I'll bet you, but I'm not giving you the box if I lose.
Oh.
I call it the Joe Pesci bet. Bet. Yeah.
What do you think, Troy? So I say 8. Phil says 5. What do you got?
7. I'm more in the middle.
Oh, you're doing the Price is Right thing, aren't you?
So edgy, Troy.
I'm gonna go $6,999, Bob.
So edgy.
Yeah. All right. Well, okay. Last question before we get to our mega mailbag here. Based on kind of how the design seemed to be getting better, it was sold out. Secondary market sales after a few days are pretty strong. Do we think that Allure has a shot to be that kind of follow in that OPC Platinum footsteps where nobody cared at some point and all of a sudden people do? Phil seemed yes. Phil, are you saying
no?
Yes?
It's a no. Do you think it's going to beat OPC Platinum? No.
I'm not saying it's going to be. I'm just saying elevate, like level up as a set, maybe 2-3 rungs down the road.
I don't know. Yeah, I kind of like it. You turned me on to it a little bit. It's too. I don't know. I don't like it. I like OPC Platinum. That's as flashy as I get. I like the Golden Treasures. I think that's cool, but a little watered down. Not my thing. Sticker autos.
What do you think, Troy?
I like it. I don't know if it's going to be OPC Platinum, but I could see it jumping up a rung.
Okay. Well, we better get to it, boys. Got a lot of mailbag questions to answer. Good ones too. So a lot of thinkers, Phil. Better get your thinking cap.
Yeah, maybe I have some thinkers. I thought there's a cutoff for the amount of questions.
Yeah, there is, and I think we hit that point. So
yeah, okay.
we're gonna limit it going forward. Okay, so you got to ask really good questions, even though you guys already do. It's gonna put pressure on us. Instagram Barkov Collector. Do you think eBay is trying to kill the flipper market with all these fees and taxes? I'm gonna say that they're not. I think they're just trying to make money. And I don't love their fees, but I think it's important for us to remember that they are the biggest hobby marketplace and they're a for-profit business. And the price of access to get to all those buyers is they charge you roughly about 14%. And as a consumer, you vote with your wallet, whether you want to pay it or not. And at the end of the day, if people repeatedly pay the 14% fees because there's still an equitable exchange of value, and at the point it's not worth it, then people will stop using eBay. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I agree 100%. I don't think they will change a thing until the market tells them to. And right now they're the biggest market, and they have no reason to change. I don't think they're trying to kill anything. They're trying to make as much money as humanly possible to appease their shareholders.
Bill?
I don't think they're doing it to be malicious. They're just doing it to make more money. I would like them to figure out the tax thing, because when I buy an American card, I pay tax on the platform, and then I have to pay tax again when it comes into my country. It drives me insane. And nothing drives me more insane than when I don't call anymore, and they're so happy to tell me how much value I'm getting. Mind-blowing. The commercials, I want to smash my phone when I see the authentication program. I'm going off on a tangent, so I should probably stop.
You've already had your segment, Phil.
Yeah, I know. I'm done. No, I have to wait a week.
Okay, YouTube, Nick Meyer, 5329. I've been on a junk wax era kick, fulfilling cards I chased as a kid. Oh, that's kind of cool. 1990-91 Upper Deck is loaded with legends. Pulled a Pavel Bure Young Guns from a fresh, unopened box, and I sent it to PSA. PSA returned the card, sending it back saying it was undersized. Well, what's the best way to check centering and if other issues with the card if I want to get these cards graded? What I would say is that you can buy tools on Amazon, like a centering tool and stuff like that, if you're looking for that work decently. My big thing, though, is find somebody you trust. A lot of local card shops are PSA group submitters and will have sort of their quote-unquote grading person there that sees a ton of cards. And I like to go and get second opinions on stuff. Like, should I grade this? Why not? That sort of thing. Because I don't trust my own eye for sure. But what do you guys think? Roy?
I don't know. I think, what do you do? I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. If you pull a card, send it in. They're like, too small, sucker. Send it back. I mean, the best you can do is what you just said. Get a centering tool and then maybe take it to someone or measure the card and see if you're crazy or they're crazy. But yeah, having a second set of eyes look at a card is always a great way to check before you send it in. And then again, the centering tool can help a lot too. Even though they confuse me. Not like I sat down and tried to use them. I looked at it once. I was like, that looks confusing. Just screw it.
They're hard to use.
I don't grade I don't grade anything right now, so it doesn't.
Well, and so many newer cards too. It's easy with 90.
Yeah, we got
deck,
defined
right?
border. Yeah,
An Allure card. How do you tell if that card's centered, Phil?
Yeah.
Well, what I would have said about a year ago would be what you want to do is you want to get us. I would have gotten a Pavel Bure PSA 10 or another card. And I would have scanned it with an Epson V600. That's pretty expensive. I would have scanned it with that printer because computers don't usually lie. And then I would have put a ruler on my Photoshop. And then I would have scanned the raw card. And I would have made sure that they matched in measurement. Because then when you send it to PSA, you know it hasn't been trimmed or it's not an undersized card. But then you have some kid who's just been hired there that works for 2 weeks. They measure your card better than the computer. And they tell you that your card's been trimmed and undersized. So I'm not going to tell you that. You should just probably.
Yeah, wait. Didn't you do that with like 30 cards?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
How many PSA 10s did you get?
3. And they told me my Patrick Waugh card was trimmed, undersized, even though with my scanner that's right beside me, my V600 scanner, I measured an already graded Patrick Waugh to make sure, and my card was identical. And they sent it back and said it was undersized. So that's what you get.
Time to find out what puts the poo on Phil's shoe.
It's a big dump. It's a big dump on my shoe. Anyways, Nick Meyer, you can't do anything. Do nothing. Just send it back. Send it back. If you're willing to pay the money, just keep sending it back. You'll get a 10, man. You'll get a 10. You will.
Did you already chime in, Troy?
Yep.
Instagram, Rollets87. He says, when comps and last sold are not in one's vocabulary, what's the best research tool to establish price? So I'm assuming this is like a new collector question, which is great to see. Love it when we get new collector questions. I have 2 answers to that, and I wish I had one, but a tool like Card Ladder or Market Movers or 130 Point, they will give you multiple marketplaces. And so those tools have value. Unfortunately, they only go off of eBay sales history. So any sale via eBay, you have to verify in Terapeak, which is in their research tab on their seller portal, which is sounds like just the worst answer
ever. Yeah, well, caveat to that, Card Ladder does use other sources. However, remember, eBay is about 90%, 99% of the data. So
if it's for like a Young Guns or a card that sells a lot, that has a lot of transactions, all you need is eBay and Terapeak.
Yeah.
Discord, High Glass, CBJ. If you guys see a card that's widely mislabeled, do you tell the seller? I'm assuming people are just searching for the highest sold card with similar words and they don't even change the title. Normally, I'll be like, hey, it's not a gold out of 25. It's just like the normal base version. You may want to change your title or relist. I'm just trying to help them, but some people apparently don't even care. All right, Troy, you got a perspective on this?
Yeah, I've done it. I've done it like 2 or 3 times where I've seen something mislabeled and I've messaged the seller on eBay, and all 3 times they said thank you and changed it. So I've never had someone get mad or tell me that I'm wrong. But I could see some people probably don't care and they're like, whatever, I'll just keep it as it is, or they don't agree with you or whatever. But there's no problem. I don't think there's any problem reaching out and just telling them, hey, I see this. Just letting you know, and if you want to change it, go ahead.
You ever reach out to people that you think of things mislisted, Phil?
Yeah, sometimes. I don't really anymore. I'm not as kind. Like, I don't know, not as kind as.
It's a lot of work too, and you got to remember too, on eBay, a lot of people copy listings to do theirs. And the thing you'll always forget, or they always forget, is the details section. You'll see like if there's a player drop down, they'll have the wrong player name because they don't even think about going into that and changing it. So you'll never have enough time. There's all those detail sections are wrong a lot. But if you see something like title is easy, you can see something there, you can message them. I mean, it's only if you want to. I mean, you're just helping. I was going to say, Josh, you had experience with this, like, right? You were selling a basketball card or something that was mislabeled. It was a different one. Yeah. And some guy reached out to you and you said, thank you, and changed it. And it was actually helped you because it was worth more than.
It's like the hobby equivalent to holding the door open for someone.
Yeah.
Good analogy. Discord, night. I could probably Google this for a simple answer. I'm glad he didn't, though, because I was not aware of this. But if you've got a podcast, I'm guessing others wondered too that aren't aware. He said, I'm curious as to the relationship between Sidney Crosby and Upper Deck. I'm asking this because he's always marketed as Penguins player when game dated moments cards are released. No one else gets this sort of treatment. I know he's a spokesman for Tim Hortons, as always utilized for their Upper Deck card sets. What's going on with Sid, also known as quote unquote Penguins player? Do you got the picture of this too, Troy? So here's an advertisement for a game dated card and shows just a silhouette of Crosby and Penguins player. So I was really confused by this. Had you noticed this before, Troy?
Never seen this in my life, and I'm so glad this guy wrote in, or this person wrote in for this question.
Yeah, this is wild. I don't know what this. Yeah, go on.
So I reached out to Upper Deck, and it's a simple answer, but as part of Crosby's contract with Upper Deck, they're not allowed to use his name or likeness in any marketing they do.
Okay.
So the card will be a Sidney Crosby card, and it'll have his image on it, but in any sort of advertisement they do for like game dated moments, they're not allowed per that agreement to use his name, image.
That's wild.
Or likeness.
That's crazy.
I'd love to know, and they would never say, but it would be really fascinating to know why.
That's super cool. Never knew that. Great question.
Discord KMM. He says, I made a few purchases from a dealer on eBay and it's gone well. Now he wants to take it offline to Instagram, but I'm a bit wary. Please help me, Gongshow mentors, to learn the ins and outs of making smooth transactions in the Instagram card world. Well, Phil,
yeah,
you do this more than we do. So, what do you think of that whole situation?
I do it all the time, man. I shoot my shot always. No risk, no reward. So I'm a bit of a cowboy. Please don't take my advice if you're not a little thick skin. I message everybody always to get off platform if I can. So eBay is not sponsoring the Gong Show anytime soon, but stop charging me tax twice. So let's see here. He wants to take it online to Instagram. I think that's great. But if you're fairly new, Facebook, maybe take it to Facebook and get vouchers. It's not really the best way. It's not the best system. I started small. I sent my cards first to somebody from eBay. And then they sent the card when some people get a little nervous, but it works for me. I've never been taken advantage of. You save a lot of money, and I would also be pretty bold in that you want your discount, right? Because you're saving a lot. You're saving, what is it, 14%, Josh? Right off the bat for a seller?
Like
yeah, but I think they even lose more. Just round up to 20, man. I would take 15, 20% right off the card right away. So, and if you develop a good relationship with the dealer, also maybe make sure they're reputable on eBay. If they have 15 cards sold, I probably wouldn't do what you're doing. But if they're reputable on eBay, and I wouldn't ask them questions on eBay, make sure they have got a good online presence. Go with your gut, man. Go with your gut.
Hey, Phil.
Yeah.
Troy and I are going to need you to do like a mushy love letter to eBay on our next show, okay?
Yeah. I got big problems with eBay. They're probably my most cheese grated company. Yeah. They're the greediest, anyways. Well, no, PSA is probably the greediest.
Okay, Troy, what do you think about this whole situation?
So I'm actually the complete opposite of Phil. I don't mind if people ask me if they want to take it off platform if I have a card on eBay, but I never will. I feel like I'm a too goody two shoe and I don't want to get in trouble. So I don't. No problem if someone asks, but I won't do it. If you want to do something else, you can do like a third party service. If it's a lot of money, like Veriswap, I think is one of them, where they act as a middleman. Now you're still going to pay some kind of fee to them. So you got to do it that way. But yeah, if you can make it off platform, I mean, more power to you, because the amount of fees you'll save is a lot. And then if you do any kind of thing with like PayPal, use PayPal goods and services, just there's some protection there.
If it's cross-border too, that's a big one. If I can get an American to, I just send my cards to Louis, but if you don't have a Louis, it is huge what you can save cross-border.
And that's the thing. We don't get that. Like, I get cards from Canada and it's like, okay, here's my, you guys
are normal. Over here, they
just,
if someone's weak, opportunity, like, oh man, like if you guys, if you don't have money in your bank account and something tries to come out, do you get an NSF fee? How much is that in the States? In Canada, it's $45. Oh, you're poor? You're more poor now.
I'm trying to remember. I don't think it's that one. Well, that sounds.
I think our government limited that, didn't they, Troy? I don't know.
Maybe.
I have no idea.
It sounds right. I would say 30 to 35.
It was $2 when they introduced that when I was in my 20s. Or
really?
$2. It's 45 now. Oh, you're a loser. You're a bigger loser now.
Well, yeah, we can get progressive tax systems. We don't have that conversation.
It's not a tax show, boys. Okay.
All right.
We're gonna move on to my favorite question of the show. Discord, Gongshow Discord, Jibboy86. I'd like to know if any of you had a favorite poster of a hockey player on your wall during your childhood years. Mine was the Checkmate poster of Jaromir Jagr from Costicos. So I don't remember this one actually.
Oh, I think we lost Phil. He's gonna go get something.
Oh yeah. All right, he's gonna go get something. Well, we'll go through. I'm very, very excited to share mine and my all-time favorite hockey poster. Not a player. But I was like in the 7th grade, and you know how it goes for 7th grade boys. This one, Troy. Do you remember this poster?
I do remember this one very well. I think I had a couple buddies that had this picture up in their room.
It is my favorite poster of all time. Of any sort of, was.
Well, I was curious, like, where did you buy it? Like, where did you get this? I was trying to think, like, where did we get a poster like this? Spencer's, maybe.
Spencer's probably, yeah.
Spencer Gifts probably had it. Yeah, this poster was very popular. So not a hockey
remember
player.
This poster, Phil?
I do remember that poster. Yeah.
Yep.
Got the ripped jeans, got the hockey laces on the yeah. Oh man. Memories. Troy, was your favorite poster?
All right. So this was one I had up in my room. I think I've shown it on the show before. Let me know
where your head was at.
I still have this poster. It's in the basement. This is not the actual. I mean, this is what it looks like. This isn't my copy I took a picture of. I just got a good looking one on eBay. Mine's probably a little more wrinkled and torn because I put the poster putty on the corners. But this was exactly it. I was in love with her. Like, she was awesome, and this was the picture I had up on my wall of a hockey player. I also had hockey players for some reason, I had an inordinate amount of rollerblade posters because those were launched when I was a kid in like mid 80s.
Minnesota company.
Yeah, and Met Pro Shop in Bloomington. Shout out to them. They've been closed for 25 years. For some reason, had a ton of these. Posters, and I want to say they were Edmonton Oilers on them, holding the rollerblades, like Kevin Lowe. Like, here's my rollerblades, and I had those up and. Then so that's my hockey stuff. I didn't have any North Stars or anything, which is kind of
odd. We did you dirty, Phil. We should have forewarned you about this, but can you think of
it's why I ran because I have my poster, but it's really packed up. It's a Troy. I don't know if you got Google ready there, but if you just Google Brett Hull Noma GT Snow Racer.
Okay.
That's my ultimate favorite. I have a Pavel Bure that I love too. That's very
I'm just finding eBay listings for the actual.
Well, yeah. So just that's the poster. Probably that would be great. No, and that he's just skating because he's a left shot and he's just stopping really quick. And if the GT Snow Racer was big for toboggan hills,
this thing is it? This thing
is a sled.
Yeah, that's it. Every Canadian boy knows that. 100%. You guys don't. That doesn't look familiar to you?
No, I don't. Never see this.
Okay. Yeah, they were the greatest toboggan sled. It was just like a little, I don't know, it had a steering wheel and it was just like a little sled. And you got a poster every time you bought it. So,
that's great.
Yeah, they were awesome. $75. Wow, that's gone up. Yeah. Okay. Nothing beats Alyssa Milano, though. What a baby.
All right. That's fantastic.
Louis, did you have a favorite hockey poster?
No.
Well, that Louis contribution.
Be gone with you. Be gone with you.
It's brought to you by Fanatics Collect.
Amazing.
Okay, Beard Buzz from Gongshow Discord. A lot of Discord people this week, which is amazing. This is, I think, a Troy question. He said, I think in the second to last episode, Troy mentioned how he was using the function on TCDB to make a catalog of his cards. Can you give a brief overview of the functionality of that? Is it basically just a spreadsheet, or does it link up to the cards already listed on the website?
So here, I'll show it. TCDB, basically you enter your cards in, and then you can see here, I've only been able to enter 4,763. You can break it down by sport, but where it gets really fun is I was thinking about this like at a card show because I always forget what I have. So if I want, say I'm looking at Pekka Rinne's and I want to see all the Pekkas I have or whatever, I think you can go somewhere in here. Hold on. Hockey Cards, maybe reports. See how I've used this a lot. I'm an idiot. There's a spot in here you can do by player, and it'll actually, you can do Pekka Rinne, and then it has pictures of them all that you have, and that's where I need the pictures. The names I can live without, but then you can do all these reports. Like if I want to see every manufactured patch card I have. That stuff, it doesn't, if you have this on a spreadsheet, you can keep it in there. It's going to do the same kind of functionality. I haven't used it enough as I'm still entering stuff in to be an expert on it, but it is pretty interesting from all the stuff. Like it's the stuff I want. It's been able to do pricing. It just pulls in from their database, which is way off all the time. So there's nothing extraordinary there, but yeah, it's pretty neat how it just takes a while to enter everything in. But I'd say if you had spreadsheets and don't want to do this, you don't have to.
Mm-hmm. All right. Good overview. Next question.
Terrible overview because I can't find where I've found it many times where I can do the player thing, and now when I'm on air trying to show it, I completely can't find it.
Okay, Instagram. Rich Fitzwell rips NHL. He said apparently the 101 Connor Bedard draft day got a bad comp from Golden, so the seller is holding out for a bit. He says, discuss what you do if it was yours. I'll hang up and listen. Okay, Phil's back. Phil, you disappeared. But you're back. Yes. Hi. Happy to see you. He said that apparently the 101 Connor Bedard draft day, so the Gold Outburst got a bad comp from eBay, so he's going to hang on to the card for a bit. He wants us to discuss what we would do if it was ours. This card was at the hockey trade night.
Wow.
So I saw it briefly. I would sell it as soon as possible, honestly. Yep. And here's what I get the sense what happens, and I'm not blaming anyone. I think I would probably be in the same boat. If I hit this card, I would probably instantly convince myself I'm a millionaire, and then Troy would say it's probably worth 15 grand, and then I would be angry, and 2 days later come to realize that.
Yeah.
You sell it, take the win, get the money. It's a cool card. It's only relevant until his real 101 gets pulled. The second that gets pulled, this card I think goes down in value. And so I would either, I think you're in the situation, and it's sort of the classic buy now versus auction, right? I'm sure that somebody might offer you 10 grand for it, and then you just got to decide, do I take the 10 grand and run, or do I maybe see if I get lucky and get 20, auction it off somewhere?
You're not getting 20 grand. I'm so sorry if I'm wrong, but it is not a good looking hockey card. It's just not, and it's not the card. It's just not. So take what you can get.
Well, I don't know about good look. I don't like portraits, but I know some other people do. What would you do, Troy, if you hit that card?
Sell it immediately. I have no qualms about just selling it immediately.
Unless you're a Bedard PC guy. I haven't met one yet.
Yeah, unless you're a Bedard PC. Okay, hold on. I'm coming back to this question. Sorry, this is only YouTube. People can see this on TCDB. So here's why I really like it. What I want to use it for is if I go to hockey, right here, I probably missed it 100 times. It says names. So I go to names, and then we'll go to ours. I'll say Pekka Rinne. Now, if I want to see my collection, there's an option to see a gallery, and now I can see all the cards, like the pictures. So if I'm at a card show, and I get to the point sometimes I have so many cards where I don't remember which ones I have. So sometimes I want to make sure I don't have it. So this is what I like about it.
But I would say that's cool functionality. It just took you 17 steps to get there. Like that would be something.
No, this website, I can promise you, probably hasn't been updated since they built it. Maybe some overhauled stuff on the front end, how it looks, but it's this would be a site that could use a complete overhaul, and it would be for more awesome functionality. Like it. I'm sorry, I was going to complain more, but.
I actually want to go back to Phil because I think there's another point I want to make. We're kind of bouncing around between questions here, but on the 101 draft day Gold Outburst for Bedard, Phil, I don't want to, because I think a situation you're familiar with that you're slightly involved in, but is you know, we don't want to give away any personal information or anything like that, but you know somebody that hit like a very big Bedard card, like a legitimately a big one, and they thought that they won the Powerball lottery.
It was horrible. I haven't spoken to them since.
And they turned down really big money and made a massive mistake by not, because it's probably worth a fraction of what they could have sold it for today, right?
Yeah, I don't know the end of that story, but I know he was offered very close to 6 figures, very close, and he didn't take it. It was jersey numbered exclusive out of 100, and he didn't take it. And yeah, that's probably would have, probably should have, right? Probably would have, should have, could have.
You can never predict the future. Okay, Instagram, Phil Dorr. I think that's how you say your name, Phil. What do you think about the rookie monumental patch series from the Cup? Do you know any collectors who have a complete set? And he says he's from Dusseldorf, Germany. So greetings to you, too, Phil. I think the monumental cards are awesome. The monumental rookie patches. I don't know anyone that has a complete set. Top of mind, I could maybe guess a few people that do. My only complaint about them, it's not really a complaint, but is they're like every monumental patch, they're player worn or photo shoot and not game used. And so they would be a lot better to me if they were game used, but very few rookie patches are actually game used material.
Tried to find one so we could see.
You guys have an opinion on rookie monumental patches?
I mean, if you're a patch guy, that's your white whale.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I love these. I love how they look. I know I wish they were game used, but hey, what are you gonna do? They're rookie cards.
Next one's a great question from Kevin B. Smith on Instagram. I hadn't thought of this before, and I'm really glad he asked it. I really want to get your guys' input. He said, is there a fear or at least worry that, and this is a great term, the Bedard tax will trickle down into future sets? So like 2024, 25, and even the year after, 25, 26, as his autograph will be, even though they won't be rookies, but they'll include Bedard rookies, in those sets. Like, will that increase the box prices of future sets, do you think? Who wants to go first?
I think they're gonna, like any company, they're gonna try. If the sales go well, they're gonna just keep doing it, right? I think Series 2 was kind of the big one, and she's kind of trailing off back to normal.
Yeah, I don't think it'll have an impact. It'll just be one more super short print auto, like a McDavid or Austin Matthews or Wayne Gretzky or something like that.
They're gonna. The market's flooded with them, so yeah, I don't think that. Maybe $5 it increases the price.
$5, get out of here.
Okay, another good question. Instagram, McCleb Hockey Cards. He said, following your last week post about top 10 hockey players with most graded cards, how can you explain the McDavid Young Guns card being graded by such a high proportion by Beckett? However, the hobby seems to have preferred PSA as a grading partner for the vast majority of all other Young Guns stars. That just has to be timing, right? That at the time McDavid Young Gun came out, Beckett was probably the most used grading company for hockey.
And I'm guessing a lot of the, like you can say older cards, like 1991 Young Guns or whatever, are more at PSA. I'm guessing a lot of those were sent in within the last 3 or 4 years. That's kind of pushed those numbers up. So yeah, I think at 15 when it was McDavid, Beckett was the name in town, and I think it's ebbed and flowed, right? Was PSA bigger, and then maybe Beckett took over? And
well, I can tell you, I have more. I have more not blank label, but non-hologram labels of my 90s cards than the hologram label. Like mid 2000s, I bought a lot of PSA 10s. They're just kind of kicking around. I mean, they're not that expensive, just old cards, right? Like a Bure 94, PSA 10. Okay. They're just in a shoebox somewhere, nothing special. So they were around, man. I still did lots of PSA.
Next question. Instagram, the sports card journey. He said, let us know how your convo with sports cards nonsense went. You got a shout out on the pod.
Mike Gio? Yeah?
Mike Gio. Yeah, Mike Gio.
No
so
kidding.
I saw Mike. We were at the Fanatics booth. I just talked to our guy at Fanatics. My dad had walked like 1,000,000 steps, and he's almost 70, so he needed to sit down. So we're sitting at a table, and I saw Mike Gio there. One thing I don't know if we've talked about before, Troy, is that I think you could give Sports Card Nonsense a little bit of credit for inspiration and starting our show. When
for sure.
We were listening to them and we were enjoying their show. And one of the reasons why we started this podcast was we were like, I wonder if there's a Sports Cards Nonsense type show for hockey cards, because they just never talk about hockey. And there wasn't. And so we thought, oh, well, maybe we'll try. And so I saw the opportunity, went and introduced myself to Mike and let him know that story, so that Troy and I were listeners and fans of their show during the pandemic. And kind of what I just said, that we, sort of a little bit of our inspiration to start the show. And I'm a big believer in, paying it forward and showing appreciation for people when they have an impact in your life. And so told them that. And little did I know. And then he asked us about our show, and he was kind of surprised how big this show has gotten. And we kind of had a good conversation around that. And then he went in almost immediately into record their show with Michael Rubin and ended up mentioning that conversation on the podcast. Now, there's a couple, if you know Sports Cards Nonsense and Mike, and there's a couple kind of funny things out of that. First of all, he called me kid, and I'm pretty sure I'm probably a dozen years older than he is. So.
Yeah, he's the main character in most of his conversations. So
I think that's hilarious. He also said I mean mugged him. I've been asking people for 2 days what that means. I don't know what it means. I probably did.
You were mad dogging him? You were mad dogging him?
Mugged.
Mad dog. Well, same thing. Mean mugging, mad dogging.
Oh,
you want to fight him.
Just give him a dirty look. That's what that means.
Yeah, but what I was probably doing is, I was probably a little apprehensive. It's kind of weird to go introduce yourself to somebody. And I was probably like mentally deciding, should I go talk to him or not? I'm glad I did. But apparently I mean mugged him. So sorry, Mike, about that. Was not expecting him to talk about our convo on their podcast, but I'm glad I got the opportunity to meet him and share with the fact that.
Do you think we can have him mention our name next time?
Mention my hat, my Whalers hat, which is kind of cool. I think I like the hat. So yeah, it was. I'm glad I got to talk to him.
Awesome.
Instagram, it's freaking Polly. He says, just to piggyback on the conversation from last show about Young Guns values of like Kucherov, Philip Forsberg, Stamkos, and such. So he's talking about our nobody cares all-star team. I think a lot of it ties into the hobby hype they had when they were rookies. Most of these guys come into the league when collecting wasn't the in thing, so there wasn't as much demand for these guys as rookies money-wise. So values were kind of low, and they did rise comparative to where it started based on performance. Now, with the pandemic bringing in collecting mainstream, again, the hype machine really gets behind guys and inflates their values at the beginning, so their baseline is much higher. Therefore, it goes, it's higher relative to their baseline. He says this is why a lot of rookies prior to 2019 are much more reasonably priced, with the exception of the hyped 0506 and 1516 classes. Same kind of thing can be said in other sports like football, where prior to 2018, everything started reasonably because there wasn't major hobby hype factored in. Football, this makes sense. And he says, by the way, JJP to the moon. Haven't got to say JJP in a long time.
For a while.
There we go. That was better. So what he's saying is that like the Stamkoses, Kucherovs of the world, there just wasn't, the hobby was in a different place, and that's why they didn't have as much hype. You guys,
so not really a question, just like really good analysis in a short amount of words, right? I mean, you can't go for 10 paragraphs. So yeah.
Okay. Discord, Braun, he has 3 questions from Discord, but all good ones. He said, in a previous episode, Phil brought up a selling platform in Canada called Kijiji.
I did.
Josh passed it off as not a real thing. Says, I live in Kitchener, Ontario, in Canada, and confirm it's the real deal.
Yes.
I sold over 30,000 worth of products, like used golf equipment, plastic models, and yes, hockey cards. I broke 2 cases of Series 2, had 7 Bedard cards, and sold them all in one day on Kijiji for over $11,000. And the benefit is no tax or shipping charges. Agree on the deal, meet up, and exchange money for the product, and your Bob's your uncle. I'm not sure what that means. So Josh,
what?
Oh wait, what are you?
Bob's your uncle. It's good. Bob's your uncle.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
He says, so Josh, do you now believe Kijiji is a real selling platform in Canada? Well, Bron, you wrote a lot of words, but you still use the name Kijiji, so no, I don't think it's real.
Yeah, it's like your Craigslist, right? That's what we determined, right? It's kind of like Craigslist in the U.S. I don't know if you have
a ridiculous
Craigslist
name.
Yeah, we have Craigslist too, but it's used more for lonely older gentlemen. We use Kijiji for good product more.
Okay.
Do they have a theme song? Is there like a Kijiji?
No, thank goodness. It's just they don't even really advertise. Everyone just kind of knows about them, I guess. It's like Facebook Marketplace, you know.
Still not real. Just wondering your thoughts on 2023-24 SPA pre-sale price, $600 a box in Canada. All the LCSs here in Canada are saying their pre-sale for this product is really concerning. No one's ordering it. What impact do you think this will have on the hobby? I can see a lot less of Future Watch Autos, Future Watch Auto patches being available for sale on all platforms. It might drive Bedard prices for these cards even higher if it's not being opened as much because the product is not being opened or bought. I know you'll have all the breakers breaking it for sure, no matter what, and people, if they can afford a box, can see them storing away and not opening it. So do you think that, what do you guys think that it's the big pre-sale price is going to affect?
Well, I want to know what the wholesale price is. What are they buying for? Is it on the LCSs for trying to make too much money, or is it on?
No, it's the distributor. It's not the LCSs, man. They're getting the crap under the stick. No. If I had silly money, I'd buy a full case of SPA and put it aside. And
I have zero. I have zero interest. Like, I'll buy the singles I want, but I'm not buying a box for that much.
Yeah, I would love to have a Bedard Future Watch Auto, but I have no desire to spend $500 on a box of SP Authentic and then pull my like Theodore McTeletubbies like Future Watch Auto, which is what I would get.
All the breaks are going to be random too, right? You're not going to be able to pick Chicago. Like, no one's going to let you, so they're all going to be random. So
usually, right? You can't do random because once Chicago gets hit, everything else will be like,
but
I sell the spot and then afterwards random.
Yeah, they do a random mix of lottery. I wouldn't even watch the break if I didn't get Chicago. What would I care?
And some people, if they do auction teams, Chicago will always be the last team. They'll just tell you up front, Chicago goes last, and then.
Or they random Chicago to the break so that
random.
That's how we usually do the breaks up here. Well, our shops, anyways.
It'll be interesting to see if it's priced real high, how many people buy it, where
When's
the Bedard market is.
When's release?
Who knows?
What?
Soon.
Before Expo? Yeah.
Soon.
Maybe. I don't know. It's not on the immediate radar. It's not
really. Well, I hope it is because I want my Parker's Champions to get cheap. So I need SPA to get released. Yeah.
Okay, last question for Brian. He said, I just love your Gongshow logo. I was wondering if you've given more thought on merchandise like t-shirts. I love one and sort of free advertising for your show, like walking billboards. Thought it was great. Nice t-shirts, including triple gold or something like that. Your thoughts? Bron, this is the bane of my existence. I've been trying for a year to do this. For how many sample shirts have I made you?
I got lots to wear. I got like 10 shirts.
Yeah, they all suck.
Yeah,
that's the problem. And Troy, what we're trying to do, right, wrong, or indifferent, I don't know, is we're having really high standards for this. We don't want to sell people junk with our logo on it.
Yep.
And I just literally have not been satisfied. So please, I pray to God, somebody is watching or listening that owns a t-shirt manufacturing company that makes good stuff, and you'll reach out to us and help us.
Yeah, your stuff, it's not going well. The stuff we've gotten, it's just like, it's stuff that you can tell after a year washing, it's gonna, like, the emblem will be gone or half off, and it's just not anything yet that we've liked.
Okay, Facebook, for the win sports cards. He says, great question. Where does Card Ladder pull its info from? TerraPeak or regular eBay? Do they manually determine shield and unpaid sales? Are there any sites that pull from TerraPeak? So eBay's API that any company can get information for goes off of eBay sales history, not TerraPeak. It's very frustrating. I actually talked to the market mover guys at the National about this, and they're frustrated by it too. So yeah, the only way to verify unpaid sales, whether they're paid or not, is through TerraPeak. Now, because we know Card Ladder better, one thing that they do is for any card in their index that has a green check mark, or I believe they actually go and manually verify,
Yeah.
which is be the most painfully laborious process ever. Cards that were actually paid for.
Yeah.
So that's I don't know how they do that every day. But.
Yeah.
Instagram, jwonger17. What's your favorite card pickup this past half year? You want to go first, Troy?
I this question, when I read it, I was like, great question. It's actually all the Wild and North Star cards I've been able to scrounge up in boxes at shows, especially the Montreal show where I came back with like 20 different cards. And the expo before that, I mean, I've probably gotten, 30 to 50 North Star / Wild autographed cards that are just awesome. Those have been by far and away my favorite cards I've bought.
You have a favorite of the lot, though? If you had to pick one,
I really like. There's this one. It's the Neil Broughton. I can't remember what it's actually called. I think it may be from a set called the Expansion, if I remember right. I'd have to find it again. But yeah, that one's awesome.
In the past 6 months, Phil, what's the favorite card you've been able to pick up?
It's a tie. My Ovechkin Exquisite patch auto with my Crosby Parker's Champions. Yeah.
Wow, look at you.
I know, right? The evolution of Loud Collector.
Do we need to take your temperature? You got a fever? Are you okay?
No, man. I just did my physical like 3 months ago. Blood work's all good. Everything's good. Yeah, feeling great.
Nice. Mine is the 2022-23 Allure Gretzky 16-bit.
I'm happy you got that, Josh. I know you really wanted that card. Yeah.
Like it. Instagram, TeddyZ85. Would you invest in Spencer Knight? Well, Troy is our resident goalie expert. We're going to turn it over to you.
I said I would not. Goalies are too hard, or goalies are so hard to invest in. I really like Knight. I'm excited for him in the NHL. However, he's kind of had a roadblock, had to enter the player assistance program, and it was for OCD, which got so incredibly bad. I read a huge story on him. It was in one of the magazines. It was the goalie issue of the Hockey News, maybe. And it was so bad. He would leave his house like 4 times and return every time to check if he locked the door. Like he couldn't even get to practice because he was so obsessive compulsive about everything.
Debilitating.
So hopefully he got help with that. Like I said, I hope he wins a Vezina. He wins multiple Vezinas. I just don't think I would. There's not any goalie I would invest in. They're too hard. Their market's too wild. And
you got to collect them, just not invest in them.
Yeah.
I have a question for you that's a little bit sensitive. I feel like ever since this came out, I could be wrong, but that I've seen 2, 3, maybe 4 other stories of goalies and OCD issues. Is there something to goalies and OCD, or am I just connecting dots?
I don't know. It's really hard because I've never seen an actual study done on the population and, percentage of goalies, but you'll hear the stuff all the time. Goalies are always the weird ones. They're always the quirks. Now, USA Hockey, they made very clear in my goaltender set training as a coach that is not something that's okay to say. Like they don't, that stigma is not something they want to put on goalies, and they don't like it when people say that. But it's interesting how you hear all these stories come out. But what's the percentage of regular players in the NHL that have OCD that we don't know about? I mean, there's so much stuff you can do with the populations. But yeah, you always hear the goalies are the weird ones, but I don't know if that's true. And I know that USA Hockey kind of wants us to get away from thinking of like that.
Well, you're standing in the way of a piece of black rubber going 100 miles an hour at your head. I don't think that's a calm person or,
even players do that. I mean, you see guys dive in front of shots. They're not normal either, man.
It's so yeah, you don't want to say terms like, I'm going to go postal on you. Like, whoa.
Yeah.
Instagram, Rimpy Rips. Let's make a bet. How many times Phil's camera is off? Over under 4 or 5, 4.5 times.
What are you talking about? Did you just turn it off?
No, aren't they
there? It just went off as that question was being written or read. I got the answer if anyone wants it for this show. It's 6. We're at 6 times.
6? Right, okay, we're gonna keep it at 6 for a bit. Yeah, what's he doing? Nobody knows.
In all honesty, Phil, this show has been a great adventure in you. You're required to kind of sit still for 3 hours, right?
I can't do it.
You do your best. You try, and we're all about effort.
You told
right,
me
Louis? Thanks,
You told me upon signing my agreement, as long as I can do me, as long as everything's okay. Watch the swearing. I think I've done pretty good. So these are my terms of my contract.
One came through tonight. We have to edit you out.
It did.
Yeah, I'm sending you a bill for editing at 1 hour and 9 minutes, Phil. We have marked it. You said
poopy. Did I say poopy?
No, yeah. You said the SH word.
No, I didn't.
You did.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Louis, did Phil swear? Thanks, Louis.
Louis gonna quit.
I'm pretty sure Louis could beat me up, so I'm running the risk of getting my beat up at this point. Did Phil swear, Louis?
Maybe.
Good answer.
It's just a noise my face made. Big deal.
Instagram. Cody Resposa. Kind of an off-topic question, but what is your most treasured piece of memorabilia? I don't really have much memorabilia. I have a signed Mike Tyson Punch-Out still in our game room. I really like it, but I've literally seen it at every hockey tournament. I'm pretty sure there's like 100,000 of them, so it's not rare or anything. I just like it.
Yeah. I don't actually have a lot of like you. I don't have memorabilia. It's like I got hockey cards. I do have some stuff like from other sports. Like I have there's a Minnesota artist. His name's Terrence Fogarty. I have a lot of stuff of Minnesota sports stuff, but it's like artwork. It's not memorabilia. It's not a jersey or something. It's just, that's something I've never really got into.
What's the definition of memorabilia? Does it have to be like something like historic, I guess? Is
it like, you know it when you see it? Is it kind of like that definition?
Yeah. I went to Wayne Gretzky's last Canadian game, and I asked the person, when I was a kid, we used to have these rectangles and used to rip them, and that you could go in and out of the building of the event.
Like the ticket was.
Yeah. So I asked the ticket person not to rip them, and they didn't, and I framed it.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I got something like that. Yeah.
All right. Discord 86 collectibles. Would you prefer the hockey hobby be more like the National or more like the Expo? He said the National is more hype, more celebs, bigger marketing, more youth participation, more collectors. Where the Expo is more quote unquote true collector driven, set builders, cheap insert hunters, more of a tighter, low key community, less about the hype.
Yeah, all the way Toronto,
and try to figure out how to get more youth participation in this scenario.
Yeah, there. More vendors, you can't go wrong. No. It's like bringing socks on a camping trip. Can't go wrong, man. Bring them all.
Instagram, Knucklehead 36. When will we see a segment where you guys rank the top 5 funniest names in NHL history?
Good.
Well, Knucklehead, when we hire you to come up with good segment ideas, because this one's brilliant, and thanks for bringing it up. We'll add it to the list.
Yeah,
I'd like to do this.
Yeah, we'll do that. I already know one. So
Troy, you'd be good at this. You laugh all the time at like pictures and names. And
there's a goalie you guys should be able to think. Maybe you'll think of right away.
Don Beaupre?
No. Okay, this is amazing. Same initials.
Oh, really? Don DP. I got nothing. I don't know.
Darren
Poopa.
Oh, Poopa.
Actually, I'm an idiot. You know what? I don't know the English language. I said the same initials. Wrong. Beaupre's a B. Poopa's a P.
Well, we've been doing the show for 33 hours.
Oh, wait a minute. Who's the Major League Baseball? Albert Pujols. That's the worst. It's Pujols.
Okay.
We're getting late.
Yeah. Instagram, Donnybrook Sports Cards. He says, here's a great question. I've been seeing numerous posts about Fanatics producing Breakers Delight boxes being stacked with the big hit cards. Is there any traction to this? And if so, is it the beginning of the end? For anyone enjoying ripping hobby boxes, knowing they probably have a minimal chance of getting anything. So first I'm going to say, of course, we say it all the time, but Fanatics is a sponsor of our show. We want any sort of Fanatics conversation or Slab Sharks, anyone like that. We want to have that disclaimer. I've seen this too. I admit, guys, I'm not like, I probably need to get more informed because it's not hockey related. I mean, we're so out of date. But what I think the concern is around is that they might be producing specific products geared towards breakers that have hits that are not in hobby. And if that's the case, I probably wouldn't like that in the hockey hobby. Like I want to make either produce products that are only for breakers,
Yep.
that you can't buy as collectors or in hobby boxes, or make sure that the hits are evenly distributed. This is sort of like going back to the whole e-pack thing. Like, should 101 cards be an e-pack? That sort of deal. What do you think, Troy?
I will go with you a little bit. I will say if it's a separate product that's only breakers, okay, I get it. It's your product, do what you want. If it's a mix, like there's also hobby boxes and breaker boxes, I wouldn't like it one bit, but you better dang well produce a checklist that shows all the odds and what you can hit where if you're going to mix them, because that's, I think, where it gets really confusing. I don't like that part of it, but I get it. Again, it's their product. They do what they want. It's not something I would like.
What do you think, Phil?
I have a few points. Let's say they go that way. Okay. Let's say it's all in the up and up. Checklist is there and the card can only be, we'll call it a breakers box. It's not coming out in hobby. Okay. Look at that beautiful Connor Bedard employee exclusive card. That's not going to have its legs for longevity. I mean, it's a nice card. That's not going to be bigger than an exclusive Young Guns card. So I don't think any card on a breaker is going to have the legs like in 20 years to be stronger than a Future Watch auto. I just don't think if they do that, it's got to be accessible to most. Second thing, I don't think a true collector is really going to give a crap about any card. I guess that's tied into my first point. They're not going to really care too much.
Where your point would be a real issue is like, say I'm going to use Upper Deck. Just say the 101 Golden Outburst goes into a Breakers Delight box.
Yeah,
right?
no.
And say they announced that, and that's where it's going. I mean,
I don't think they're
the other product in 4 seconds.
Yeah, no. The breakers culture is, I think, what annoys most people. I think breaks are good. It's the breaking culture. I think that's a little maybe too noisy for some of us older farts. I'm not really sure, but.
Let me give you guys a scenario, though, and we'll make it not about hockey cards. We'll say it's about soccer card, like something that we're just not super passionate about, right? Let's say that Phil or Troy, that you guys own, your partners, and you own the company that makes all the soccer cards. At the point where you realize that half of your sales are to breakers, does it not make sense, a little bit of sense, though, at that point to start thinking about how you cater to that customer of yours a little bit? Again, I'm not trying to say that this is good. Like, listen, I'm a hockey collector first, but I guess maybe the point I'm trying to making is that we probably should brace ourselves for the notion that these products may start to get engineered for breakers, because there's such a huge part of the product being open. And you also got to say too, if breakers are half of the hobby or more, it's because we collectors keep buying the break spots. Right. So it's like, it's not like
I wouldn't say we collectors. I'd say we collectors and most gamblers.
Sure. Well, people in the hobby keep buying the spots. Again, I'm not trying to say that breakers should get all the hits. That's not my point. It's just that it's inevitable, I think, that they start to get considered when products are developed. And my hope is that the manufacturers do a really good job of keeping the playing field equitable, right? Making sure that everyone has equal opportunity to get good cards.
It's such a breaking. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and say it. It's such a new person and a young person thing. Like, how many of us are big breaker guys? Like, nobody. I don't know anyone I see at the store picking up at my LCS picking up cards. They're all teenagers or very young card bros, or just very new people that I end up talking to for an hour in the parking lot, and we're just shooting the poop, and they're brand new, they're fresh as they can be, and they're adults and they have money. They're driving their Mercedes. They're not happy at home. Like, these are the people doing the breaks. Look at the videos. Look at what they're being catered to. That quick dopamine hit. I mean, I like it once in a while, but I mean, it's a rush. It's not about the cards. It's about the rush, and if that's what's taking over our hobby, well, maybe it is the beginning of the end. I don't know, man. I don't like the way it's trending in certain ways, but I feel like we have a strong core. Guys like me, you, people that listen, we're kind of unmovable in that. And I think we'll be okay. You know, we'll be okay.
You could make the same argument about prospecting and like buying the new rookie cards. One of the things I realized a while ago is I was like, of all the people that have like really big, valuable collections, none of them prospect.
No,
literally none.
I did one time and failed miserably. Still hope. There's still hope, but yeah.
They don't collect young guns, you know. So it's like, oh, okay. So just like you said, in your opinion, like breaking is more of like a newer collector, newer hobbyist kind of thing, or you know, prospecting kind of falls in that boat to me too. Anything else you want to add, Troy, or should we move on?
No, we're good.
Okay. X Sebastian Engelhardt. I finally dropped Twitter. I know. It was painful. Can you please explain buyer's premium? If a card sells at auction for $1,000, how much more does the buyer have to pay? And what is the breakdown of what the seller and auction get? So buyer's premium is a percentage that's added to the hammer price. So in an auction, if you bid up, the final bid or the winning bid is $1,000. Depending on the auction company, they might have a 10%, 15%, 20% or higher buyer's premium. So if a card in your example, Sebastian, sells for $1,000 and the buyer's premium, like you typically see 20% a lot, that would be then the final price as the buyer of the card you would pay is $1,200. Where now here's where it gets a little I guess there's some variability. In some cases, that $200 goes directly to the auction company. In the case of like really high value cards, a lot of the auction companies will negotiate with you and will actually share some of that buyer's premium with you. So as the seller of a card, in certain cases, you might get like 110% of the hammer price.
So if you pull that 101 Bedard Gold Outburst and you decide to go to the auction house route,
don't pay 20%.
You make sure you don't give them the full price. They should negotiate way lower. Like maybe they take 5%, 3%, something just to get that marketing and all the eyes on it. But no, unless you don't want to take the bounty and you want to go to the auction house, just remember that.
Another question from X, Eric Ellis. He said, I asked this on Instagram, but in case you boys didn't see it, once you've gotten through your almost greatest player to wear each number segment, can we have the worst player to wear each number? I think it'd be hilarious and a fun way to start each show. And then he says, hashtag make Phil full time.
Oh, there you
go. That?
Oh.
I can't see.
Troy, there's been a lot of interest in the last number of months and what you
I don't even know what I'm going to do.
But my bet is that Troy finds a way to continue the greatest player.
No, I don't. I think I've got to move on from that. But this would be hilarious. I don't know if I can. I don't know. I'd probably tick off enough people doing 100 episodes of the worst player. We'll see.
You would find a player that just like played one game and was like,
I know that's what it's like. I gotta find some crazy stuff. Yeah, I don't know. There's actually people have a lot of good suggestions. We'll see. We're slowly getting to the end. 23, I think it will be the last almost greatest.
Discord, Cigar Scott. Not really card related, but was curious why you two, Baba Louie and Loud Phil, don't have season tickets to your teams, being that you're all fortunate to live in NHL markets. Well, Troy and I did have season tickets to the Wild for a number of years, and then our kids got busy in sports and we stopped being able to go to games, and now we would literally never be able to go to a game. So
yeah,
anything to add to that, Troy, from your spot?
It's for sure the kids, but then coaching high school hockey, there's no point. Unless the game was on a Sunday, I could never make it.
Oh,
I mean, that's it. I mean, it's practice every night, then or practice in the afternoon, video sessions, going over game film, and there's just no way. And Sunday's the only day we have off in the season for no practice, no games or anything. So yeah.
And then we got this show. So
yeah, well, then the show, and then besides that, then the kids stuff. Kids that play hockey. My daughter's in theater. I have all those stuff to go to. So there's just no way I could do it.
How come you don't have season tickets, Phil?
Yeah,
I used to have tickets. Yeah, well, I had more money in my 20s and my early 30s than I do in my 40s. I had season tickets a long time, and I just don't. Hasselhoff grew up, and life got in the way.
Baba Louie, How come you don't have Wild season tickets?
Well, when the Wild got here in 2000, I was 20, so I was broke, and then family, married.
Oh, so you're broke.
Yeah, married.
You're more broke.
Kids, and then just like Troy, once the kids got older, it was coaching hockey constantly. You don't have time to do anything. I even flirted with the idea of maybe splitting it with 3 other people, but when it came down to it, like Troy said, Sunday night or day or whatever, that'd be the only time we could get out.
Like the only time I could go.
Yeah, 5 days a week of hocky and 2 kids, and
we should all wait for our teams to be better, and then we should revisit this question.
There you go.
That ain't gonna happen for the Wild.
Ditto.
All right, thanks, Lee. We made it. Last question. This is a really good one too.
Oh, I screwed up. Oh, here it is. Yeah. If you're watching on YouTube, the greatest slide ever.
We got all hosed up in our visuals because I was tired and crabby. Instagram, Calder City Sports Cards, good friend of our show. He said, curious what you guys make of Logan Stankoven being included in 2023-24 Synergy, but not getting a Young Guns card and extended. I was under the impression he was going to be one of the top holdovers for 2024-25 Series 1, which even with him looks to be a pretty weak group. He's not on the Allure checklist either. Do we think this was an error, similar to leaving Leo Carlson out of Trilogy? If it was, having him in Synergy base card in 2023-24 would preclude any 2024-25 cards of his from being considered rookies. So this may be a sleeper card, especially if he's not included in the remaining 2023-24 products. So they're saying is like, people think he shouldn't be in this set. And if he is, then if he's in 2024-25, would that not be a rookie card? Because he had a rookie in the year before. And he's a big prospect, right?
Does his brother have a card in this set?
Who's his brother?
Pavel Stankoven?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But just in general, not is so like if his Young Guns comes out and his Young Guns is 2024-25, it kind of feels like the Michael Bunting situation. Remember, like Michael Bunting had like a rookie card in about what seemed like 3 straight years.
Oh, he's such a plug. He is.
And so I think the question is, are 2024-25 rookies really rookies? Or the other point that Calder City was making, well, could that make this card actually end up being a little bit more valuable down the road, knowing it's the only 2023-24 Stankoven rookie card?
You'd have to tell everybody that story, though,
Yeah.
Be like, actually, did you know his Synergy card is his? They're like, yeah, sure, bud. I'll stick with his Young Guns, thanks.
Actually, I collect Logan
Yeah,
Stankoven. What you might find really interesting about this situation is that in 2023-24 Synergy, he was a rookie, but was not included in other sets. So his Young Guns card actually shouldn't be a rookie card and therefore should be devalued.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. I agree with you. People are going to see the Young Guns and they're just going to be like, oh, that's his Young Guns.
Yeah.
$40. Are we out of Steam? I feel like we're out of Steam.
We're out of Steam. It's late. We went through
it's late. It's later for me. It's add an hour to your late.
Yeah. All right. Personal pickups time, Troy. What do you got?
Nothing. I don't buy hockey cards anymore.
Troy, I don't even know who you are.
Break with the hobby?
Break with the hobby. No. I don't have time. I haven't had time to look up stuff. I should have today. Actually, I did have some time, but
I'm sending you.
You got
cards.
a box sitting at my house of Allure that you
I do. Oh yeah, I do have a box of Allure at your house. I haven't ripped it yet.
Bill's got one pickup.
I got one.
Let's show it.
I don't have the picture.
That's fine.
I missed it. That was me.
What did you get, Phil? Just describe it. And
I got a 2018, 2019 exquisite auto rookie graph out of autograph out of 25. It's not. Oh well, here. If you're watching, I got it right here. So if you're watching on YouTube, great.
Oh yeah, throw it on there.
I will. I got 5 of them, so let me just make sure I got the right one. This is the one I got, number 2. So it's right there. It's not the design we love.
Wait. I've got 5 of them, so I just kind of make sure I got the right one.
Number 2. Yeah. It's number 2. I want all 25, baby. So that's his exquisite rookie. I mean, the design's okay. It's actually from the 04-05 basketball design, so it's not bad. It's not the one we love, though, but anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah. They're cheap. They're not expensive. They're cheap. No one cares.
I got 4 boxes of 2021-22 ice. I got nothing. My dad had fun opening them. I just wish we would have hit something. He kept asking. He kept handing me base cards, asking me if this was worth money. So that was pretty
good. Gosh, what'd you get in the exquisite pack? Nothing.
Oh, it was the bonus pack. It was a 2020 pack. Yeah, I got nothing. You get
nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
So just before we go, those exquisite cards I like. Those exquisite patch autos are in those bonus packs.
No. The 2020 bonus pack. So that's where you get like a Kaprizov or a Laffy Ice Premiers on a 99.
Yeah.
The exquisite cards are in the regular packs but they're like case hits.
Oh, I always thought they were in the other packs. Oh, anyways.
All right. If you like the episode, please leave a rating and review on Apple, Spotify, whatever podcast app you listen to us on. If you love the show, you want to support us, you want to chat with us on the Hockey Cards Gongshow Discord server, please consider $5 a month donation. Join our $1.99 support level tier on Patreon. The link is in the show description, both podcast apps and on YouTube, in our Instagram, TikTok profile, and on our website. You can get there. Just click on the Become a Patron link at the top of the page, or search for Hockey Cards Gongshow on the Patreon website, patreon.com. We are on social media. Hey, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. And boys, the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast is a production of Dollar Box Ventures LLC. Have an amazing Monday. We will be here Thursday. Peace.